Visit our website at WIWU-TV.com/about for station and FCC info.
This week on Crossroads, see how the Indiana Wesleyan Theater Guild honored some local heroes.
We get a visit from some animals at Art in Motion Pet Store.
And see how the cars cruised in the Gas City for the Ducktail Run. I'm Randall King.
And I'm Shaylee Clark. It's all new this week on Crossroads.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marion High School and Dick Luton Stadium for tonight's Grant County High School football game of the week on WIWU-TV. Along with my partner Kyle Johnson, I'm Roger Alcock. And Kyle, tonight we're going to watch a football game with two teams who kind of contrast each other in terms of their strengths. Giants a little more solid offensively, Huntington a little more strong on the football, on the defensive side of the football.
Huntington defense very, very tough this year. Just, doesn't break and doesn't put a lot of points off offensively either. But Marion, on the other hand, very fast offensively, very speedy, looking to use that tonight, trying to get ahead quickly because they've had some games where they come from behind, and that's not good for their defense. Their offense is solid. Defense tends to give up some points. So
we talked about trying to get ahead and play from the head, and the Giants can do that if they don't turn the football over. That's been a struggle for them, is turnovers.
Turnovers a big issue this year for the Giants. Not only the number of turnovers, but where they're on the field. A lot of times give up bad field position to the opposing team. So definitely going to try to limit turnovers tonight, and hopefully that'll give them the key to the victory.
Momentum, not only in this football game, but even maybe in this season. This season it hasn't gone the way the Giants would like it to have, but they've got a chance tonight, maybe if they can get a win under the belt, to try to get some momentum going into the postseason.
Definitely looking forward to sectionals. A couple key wins could land them some momentum heading into that. Still have some stuff to play for.
All right, it's senior night here for the Giants, so don't go away. When we come back, toe will meet leather. We'll have the kickoff here on the WIWU-TV High School Football Game of the Week.
This week on Wildcat Week, we talked to IWU men's tennis coach Keith Ruberg about the fall season. IWU women's soccer coach Tim Schrader will update us on the season so far and about his first year coaching the Wildcats. We get highlights from many of the IWU sports, and I'll sit down with two of the top men's and women's tennis players. That's all on the new episode of Wildcat Week.
Jordan with the finish. Seems like he's been... Welcome back to Marion High School in Marion, Indiana, Dick Luton Stadium for the Giants and the Huntington North Vikings. Roger Alcock along with my partner tonight,
Kyle Johnson, that's me.
Say hi, Kyle. Hey, we want to introduce our third member of our team tonight. Down on the field, we're going to talk with Katrina Blackman, so let's check in with Katrina.
Yeah. Speaking with the head coach of the Marion Giants, Ryan Vermillion, their first priority to tonight's game is to stay focused and consistent. They want to make sure they're getting big plays early in the game, and they want to start and finish each half strong. Talking with the head coach for Huntington, Trent Fine, their keys to tonight's game is to run the ball consistently, to make sure that their defense is good. That is the strength. the seniors will play a huge role in their defense tonight. Back to you, Roger.
Katrina Blackman, we look forward to checking in with Katrina throughout the evening, getting updates from down on the field. Of course, Kyle, we've been one game here at Marion early in the season, got a good look at this new turf field here, and of course it looks great tonight. And we were down on the field earlier, and just a remarkable surface to be playing on. But I think this is the time of year when having this kind of surface really is a benefit to your program, because you never know after maybe a hard rain or all the practice and the play that goes on here. By this time of year, oftentimes it's torn up, but of course it's not. It looks great.
Definitely, and it's getting a little cold out there into October now, and so that also helps that the field's not hard as a rock. The guys falling down and tackling each other on it, but beautiful field for sure.
Well, get a good look at the Giants there at midfield. And Kyle, you know as a high school athlete back in the day, senior night, it's the last time you play at home. Even though, as we mentioned briefly in the pregame, the season hasn't gone for the Giants like they would like. I mean, there's something special about senior night, and well, if you can't get up for senior night, I don't know what you can get up for.
Yeah, very emotional for the seniors. Last time they'll be playing in front of the home crowd, wearing the purple. So I'm sure that'll definitely be driving them to play some good football out there. And it's just, you want to go out on a high note in your last home game.
Speaking of some seniors, of course, for the Giants, you see a couple of them out on the field getting ready to go out to midfield for the coin toss. But Will Collins, their speedster in the backfield, the Giants need a big night from Will Collins if they want a shot at winning this football game. And he has that speed and the skill to get a big play that might break a game like this open.
Certainly has that big play ability, and as we touched on earlier, definitely want to get some points early on as an offense or defense if they can create turnovers. And especially Collins, he's been injured quite a bit this season, so definitely want him to stay healthy this entire game. Definitely will help Marion's chances.
Spencer Reynolds, number 36 there. Noah Graham, number 70, and number 59, Wyatt Brown, the other senior. Now, Wyatt, he's the leader on the defensive side of football. We talk offense all the time, I guess, and it's easy to talk offense, but Wyatt been outstanding at his linebacker position this year for the Giants. Got nicked up a little bit last week, so it's good to see Wyatt back out there ready to play tonight. The Giants win the toss. Actually, the Vikings, have won the toss. Of course, they will defer to the second half, and so Marion will receive the kickoff. And a little bit what we talked about, Kyle, earlier is maybe if the Giants can make something good happen on the offensive side of the ball, get a score early and play from ahead instead of from behind, that could be a really big key in this ball game.
I think that would help Marion's defense out quite a bit. We talked about diminishing turnovers, and Marion's defense has struggled a little bit, but it's also been on the offensive side of the ball, giving a lot of giveaways to the other team, putting the defense on the field quite a bit in difficult positions. So definitely, if the Giants can march down the field and score right away, not only get momentum going, but kind of get the juices flowing for everybody as well as the defense.
And of course, speaking of defense, that's what Huntington really hangs their hats on, is the defensive side of the football. It sounds well and good for us to talk about Marion, getting on the scoreboard, playing from ahead, all those kind of good things. But Huntington North is not a team that's going to allow that to happen very often. They're a very stout defense. And then, as Katrina mentioned, then on the offensive side of football, they want to put the ball on the ground, keep it on the ground, pound away at you, and grind one out and grind a win out. And they've done that for the most part this year, running the football with Adam Woods. We'll keep an eye out for him a little later on.
Definitely an old school football type of team, and defensively should be a fun one, seeing how they try to stop this Marion offense, and they're very good.
We're underway. The kickoff is short, and it's going to go out of bounds at around the 20-yard line. So Marion will begin their first drive on the offensive side with it 1st and 10, and with the penalty on the kickoff going out of bounds, Marion will start at the 35-yard line. So that's outstanding to get that good field position.
Yeah, we see that a lot on the first kickoffs, the ball rolling out of bounds, and it's unfortunate for the defense, but good luck right away for the Marion Giants on offense.
Of course, Lorenzo Trevino leading the Giants out on the field, and Trevino, he's got a bright future ahead of him, only a sophomore. He's played solid at that quarterback position. He's had to grow with it. Just like the Giants, turnover prone at times, but when they take care of it, he can be solid. Will Collins gets to the outside, 40, midfield, he can go, 40. At the 30, the first play from scrimmage, and the Giants take it to the house.
Wow.
Will Collins stretches the field and takes it 65 yards for the score.
We talked about them starting early, didn't think they were going to be the first play of the game. And looked like they almost botched the exchange on the snap, but Trevino able to get it to Collins on the outside, and then great blocking on the outside, you see there. And again, Collins' speed right there all the way down the sidelines. Safeties are not there, wide open field. Great play from the Giants.
Well, the Giants, you see why Will Collins is one of the most outstanding track and field athletes, not only in Grant County, but in the state of Indiana. Well, in to attempt the extra point is Oliver, an outstanding kick on the extra point. And just like that, the Marion Giants have taken a 7-0 lead. That's exactly what they needed.
Speed kills.
My goodness.
And you're going to expect that will not happen very often. Huntington looking probably after that first play to redeem themselves on the next drive defensively. But what a start for the Giants.
Well, I tell you what, Kyle, you can't start a football game much better than that if you're the Giants. You get the ball in excellent field position at the 35 after the kickoff goes out of bounds. They get it to their speedster who, once he got the corner, and I tell you what, I don't know if we'll see a replay later. We'll see some highlights, but I didn't catch who that was on the outside, but it was one of the receivers on the outside, got an outstanding block and really freed Will Collins. He went in untouched.
Yeah, definitely great blocking, great execution of that play. As I said, the snap, little bobbled, but then Trevino able to get to Collins right away, and he did the rest with some great blocking.
Well, the Giants with the early 7-0 lead, getting ready to kick it off. Luke Oliver, number 18, another senior for Giants, gets a good kickoff here, high end over and taken at the 9-yard line. Johnson, oh my, he has a big hole. He's at midfield now, one man to beat at the 40, and he's going to go. The 20, the 10, the 5, and touchdown. Well, Kyle, if the Giants had momentum to begin the game, Huntington North just took it right back.
Drew Fawcett took that one all the way. It was a good kick by the Giants, Giants didn't even get a chance to get on defense. We talked about Huntington North, having relatively low point totals. That will certainly help their cause if this is going to turn into a shootout.
Well, I really didn't think this game would be a shootout in the sense that Huntington North is not necessarily a high-scoring team, but holy cow, are we even a minute into this football game yet? What, 30 seconds into the game? And it's 7-7. At this rate, it'll be, what, about 1,500 to 1,490?
Yeah, something like that, break some records.
Well, in to attempt the extra point. The kick is up for Alex McCutcheon, and we're tied up at 7. Let's take a look at the replay.
Here's the replay. We talked about blocking on Marion's first play. Excellent blocking there. And Drew Fawcett able to get, and he's just not going to be caught by the kicker there. Just great execution as well on that return by Huntington North. And they're going to need plays like that if Marion's going to continue to score big points to help out the offense.
Well, Will Collins went 65 yards on the opening play from scrimmage, And that time, Drew Fawcett goes 91 yards on the kickoff return. And so we are tied up at 7 apiece. Goodness gracious.
Some exciting football right away, that's for sure.
Not a slow start to this one. Well, so it's now up to the Giants to make something good happen. Again, start a drive with good field position and maybe grind out a drive here. We'll see what happens. I'm a little shell-shocked here.
Well, it's so easy to forget that special teams, can play such a big role in the game. We focus on offense and defense a lot, but there you see special teams can just totally equal a game within 20 seconds.
Now, this usually happens like on a video game. Madden 2014 or something like that. Kickoff taken at the 15. And out to the 20, out to the 25-yard line. That's more like it. 10 yards on.
A little bit more what we're used to seeing out here.
Well, so the Giants will have it 1st and 10. And they'll begin this drive at the 25-yard line.
It'll be interesting to see now what Marion does on this play from scrimmage after just one play offensively last drive.
Trevino under center. Giants in the I formation. Of course, Collins dotting the I. Takes the handoff. Just over left tackle, still on his feet. Picks up about 3, maybe 4 yards as he gets it out to the 29-yard line.
Huntington putting a lot of guys in the box on that play, not wanting Collins to get to the outside like he did earlier.
Second down and 6 for the Giants. Trevino has one wide out to each side. I formation, 2 tight ends in this formation. Now they're going to change up the play at the line. He's got 6 seconds to work with. Rolling option right side. Trevino turns upfield. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and gets it across the 30 out to about the 31-yard line. So a gain of, let's give him a gain of 2. Almost 3. Moving quickly here on the offensive side of football.
Big third down right now.
As the first carry of the game for Trevino, who will run the football. He's got some options there. He can hand it off, he can keep it, or he can roll and pitch. Here's the first pass of the game. And it should be first down yardage, and it is as the pass is completed to number 36, Spencer Reynolds.
A little play action there, and you can see Huntington North jumping a little bit, looking for that run. Good play call.
And the first down picked up for the Giants here. And so they're starting to put together a nice little drive. Trevino back in the shotgun this time as Collins off to his left. Spencer Reynolds, the tight end who caught that last pass, the top receiver for the Marion Giants. Collins got met in the hole and was hit pretty hard. Now the ball is loose, but surely that play had to been long dead by that point.
Looked like his forward yardage had stopped. And there you see the Huntington North defense. That's what they're good at. Just swarm her to the ball, containing Collins on that play.
Second down for the Giants.
Well, pickup of only a yard in that play, so it'll be second down and 9 to go. And that's kind of the difficult spot that the Giants don't want to be in. Any team doesn't want to be second, third, and long. I'd like to get more yardage on first down. Here's a throw on the run, and incomplete. Pass was intended for Trey Rowe, and he got a hand on it, but looked like the defender pulled him down as soon as he got his fingertips on the football.
Marion not afraid to pass it either. A lot of teams, in high school like to run the ball. They're fast enough where they can get a couple nice pass plays.
Well, now it's third and long. So now Will Collins is going to split out. Straight drop, under pressure, across the middle, completed pass. First down yardage and more across midfield. Big third down conversion right there for the Giants as Trevino stood in there against the pressure and got a nice little pass off to Derek Jones, who broke the tackle and picked up the first down.
Well, the Vikings brought the heat on that play, but Trevino able to get the ball away. And as you said, just yards after the catch, excellent effort by Derek Jones. A little sloppy tackling there at the end, too, from the Vikings.
They're a good tackling team. Trevino changing up the play at the line of scrimmage. I don't think we've seen that from Marion quite as much. Hand off, left side. Sanders broke a tackle and gets it down inside the 45, and about the 41-yard line.
And that'll be more of a key for the Giants, getting 5 yards per play, 4 yards per play, instead of getting into those 3rd and long, 2nd down and 9 situations, will help them move the football more effectively.
Sanders on his first carry picks up 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Marion. This drive started back at the 25-yard line. Trevino gives it to the second man through, and once again that's to Sanders. And this time we'll give him a gain of a yard, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Another key 3rd down. Marion's had some good momentum on this drive, moving the ball slowly, take some time off the clock, see if they can convert this one.
3rd down and 4. Rolling to his left, under pressure, on the run, and nobody out there, and Trevino had to throw it away. So with it 4th down and 4 yards to go, but the ball at the 40, I think the Giants will definitely look to go for it here.
A good rush on that play from the Vikings. Able to get kind of through the line on every single level, and Trevino just had nobody to his left. Had to throw that one away. Big 4th down here, though.
Well, of course, obviously you're playing to win a football game, and so you know you can factor that in. But at 1-7, you really don't have anything to lose either by going for it. You know, you can afford to be more aggressive. Trevino, hand off. Is this going to be a throw? Oh, I think Collins thought about throwing it, and he's going to be hemmed in and hit for a loss of good 4 yards, and so the Giants will turn it over on downs. I'm not sure if that might have been a halfback option pass. I could be totally wrong, but for a second there, it looked like he was trying to reposition the football in his hands to throw it.
Well, Marion's got speed on offense, but Huntington also has some speed on that defense as well. And Collins is a shifty player, but unable to get anything there.
Let's take it down to the field really quick and talk with Katrina Blackman.
That touchdown by the Giants was a new play called pitch. They just ran it to Will Collins, and they plan to run that a lot more tonight and keep the ball in Collins' hand. Back to you, Roger.
All right, yeah, they'll run it all night long to get you a touchdown. Well, that is the first play from the line of scrimmage for Huntington.
And they fed it to Woods here, looking to see that a lot tonight. He's their go-to guy. Averages about 100 yards a game, so likely to see a lot of him running the football.
A pickup of 2 yards on that first carry from Woods. He takes the handoff again, has a big hole. Midfield and more. Inside the 40, he's gone. 25, 10, 5, touchdown, Adam Woods.
Man, did you see that speed once he got past to the safeties? And just bad angles there by the Marion safeties, unable to bring him down. He splits the defenders.
56 yards. Adam Woods. And there was a lot of green space there. Kyle Johnson, he was virtually untouched, like we said.
Yeah, he's got speed too, yeah. And like we said, their go-to guy. He's already halfway to his average.
Excuse me. It's like Red Sea.
That's ironic because their colors are red.
Well, the Vikings have taken the lead, and they've only run 2 plays from scrimmage, and they have the 14-7 lead.
Here we're talking about Huntington North not, scoring a lot of points, and they're already up 14-7 after about 5 minutes of play.
Well, it's 14-7 with 6 minutes and 23 seconds to go here in the first quarter, and we take a look at this replay.
Yeah, and you see Woods here, once he gets past the initial line of scrimmage, nobody really able to take a good angle, and you see once he gets through the safeties, just turns on the jets, and he is gone. Nobody's going to catch him once he gets to that point. Great run by Woods there.
Well, yeah, I think you have to credit the tailback for getting to the hole and the burst of speed there. Pretty good blocking, but that's too big of a hole to allow someone to run through. You just cannot allow that to happen.
Definitely, and that's the reason we talked about Marion getting up fast, was that the defense can be strong at times, but can also give up big plays like that. Good push by the Vikings offensive line, and then just too easy for Woods once he splits the hole, and he went up the middle and he was gone.
Well, Huntington North ready to kick this one off. Want to quick update of scores through elsewhere here in Grant County. Oak Hill with a 6-0 lead on Mississinawa. Huge CIC matchup there. But the Giants look to respond. Carrying to the other side of the field. Ear out towards midfield with a nice return of that kick was Tyreek Bates.
Looks like there might be a flag down, though, around the 35-yard line.
Good eye there. And the official's going to kick it back, so this is probably going to be a hold or an illegal block against the Giants. Might negate that nice return from Tyreek Bates. That's an odd kick. I'm not sure exactly what Huntington North, they intending to kick it short to keep it away from the Marion return men. That time Bates, one of the up men, had a really nice return, but
penalty was on the Giants, so they'll be moving it back.
Of course, we don't have the benefit of seeing who it was against, but so instead of the Giants having it near midfield, they're going to have to start this one back inside their 25. And it'll be 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line.
That's a big chunky yardage to lose on a penalty right there.
Oh, yeah, really a difference of about 25 yards on that play. Well, Kyle, we'll have to see if the Giants can respond. We talked about them trying to get ahead, stay ahead, and play from ahead, not play from behind. That's what they have to do now. They did move the ball, though, well on that last possession. Trevino keeps it. Oh, he's going to be hit in the backfield and goes down. He's going to lose.
He's brought down at the 15-yard line.
Well, good 8 yards, it looks like.
It looked like Logan McQuinn coming off the edge for Huntington North. Able to just get around the tackle there. And Trevino ran right into him, and that's an easy tackle.
Trevino rolls to his right, tries to throw on the run over the head of his intended receiver, incomplete. And you mentioned it earlier, but Huntington North is just putting 8, 9 guys in the box, hitting the gaps, and the Giants are going to have to try to find a response to that and see if they can't maybe find Spencer Reynolds over the middle, that tight end or something, but they've got to get Huntington maybe to play it a little bit more straight up.
Huntington North definitely tightening up their defense from that first drive.
The blitz comes, high snap. Oh, now the ball is loose on the ground, and the Giants get it back, a break for Marion. If that would have been a turnover there.
Well, we talked about turnovers, almost 2 in that same play. Fortunate to get the ball back. High snap goes over Trevino's head, and never really got a handle on the ball. Fortunately, there's 2 Giants right there to cover it up, and we'll see a punt.
Alex Blackburn had picked it up. They turned it over. So the Giants, boy, just really got sloppy on that last drive, and they had looked so good on the drive previous to that. Now they're going to have to kick it away out of their own end zone.
not the response they're looking for.
There's a high kick, high snap, but a good punt. High punt taken back at the 45-yard line, slipping one tackle, and then going down for the Vikings is Jackson Kane. You got a return of about 12 yards. And the Vikings, though, will set it up. 1st and 10 inside Marion territory. Well, that was a good catch.
A nice little return here, too, from Kane. And able to get a little extra yardage. Get them even more into Giant territory to start their offense.
Inside handoff. Not much running room that time. And a gain of about, well, let's give him 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Well, that was Woods again. And if Marion can get stops like that, you know, they'll set themselves up for some 3rd downs, but still wanting to tighten that up even a little bit more. If you're getting 3 yards play, that brings about 3rd down, you know, and short. Still easier to convert, I should say. So good stop. Let's see if they can make it even better.
2nd down and 7 from the 35-yard line of Marion Giant. Handoff on the jet sweep that time. Went to Jack Doughty, and he'll pick up only about a yard or 2.
Good contain here from the Giants defense. You know, not rushing to the runner when they see an end around. Everybody kind of moving to their side and not giving him any option to cut that back. And not really much running room.
It'll be 3rd down and 6. It's a big defensive possession here for the Giants to see if they can't force the Vikings into 4th and long, or maybe a punt. Well, he's short of the 1st down marker on that carry. They're going to go for it, I would assume, though. It's only about a yard and a half to go.
Got to believe with the way Woods has run it so far, they're going to go for it right here. We'll see if Marion stacks the box, try to stop that run.
4th down. Can't get my down straight on this drive. 4th down and 1. And a full 1 yard needed for the 1st down. Woods, handoff. Matt at the line of scrimmage, but then he's able to just pull the pile ahead, pushes inside to 25, down to the 24-yard line. And so it'll be a 1st down for Huntington North.
Well, that's just 2 things. The push of the offensive line and Woods keeping his legs going. Initial, you know, stop there, but just able to keep pushing through and easily get that 1st down.
Saw the speed of Woods earlier, that time running with a little bit of power. And, of course, just a strong effort there from the Huntington North offensive line. 1st and 10 for Huntington North. Doughty breaks through. Still on his feet after he looked like he was going to be stopped for a short gain. But that time, well, he picks up 8 yards. Makes it 2nd and short.
Well, that was a good push from the Giants. Had a lot of guys through, but kind of just a little confused as to who had the ball, looked like.
Yeah.
And able to get off to the right side, and a couple jukes later, he's close to a 1st down.
Wyatt Brown came flying over to make the tackle there. And a little bit slow to get up. We mentioned Wyatt was a little shaky after last week's game. Hey, little shout out to our new trainer at Marion High School, Miss Wolf, Indiana Wesleyan grad just recently.
There you
Did
go.
a great job with the training staff here at Marion High School.
Yeah, and Brown will come out for that play. He's a little slow to get up, so he has to sit out this play, see if he can get his head straight.
Well, it's now 2nd down. We call it 2nd down and 3 for Huntington North. Tell you what, touchdown here, a score here that puts the Giants down 2 scores could really, really wreak havoc on this team right now, just even from a emotional, psychological standpoint. After such a big high,
Yeah,
with the quick start,
mentally getting that first touchdown, and then all of a sudden if the Vikings are able to score down 2 touchdowns. It's just a quick turnaround, very, very difficult to come back from.
Straight drop. Throwing across the middle, complete inside the 5-yard line, and that one was completed to Bryson Gradeless. Well, that was a nice-looking throw from the young quarterback, Lucas Long.
First time they've thrown the ball this game, just a simple slant route, and able to get inside the 5-yard line, setting up this possession well.
Doughty goes in motion. Oh, the inside handoff, and walking into the end zone, untouched for the touchdown, is Carson Wright. And just like that, the Vikings of Huntington North have taken a 20-7 lead.
Well, they do quite a lot in the backfield on these offensive run plays. And there again, just a couple change of directions, even from the quarterback. Difficult to kind of get your wits about you, especially with that short of a field for the Marion defense. Pretty easy touchdown there from the Vikings.
Extra point.
McCutcheon for the extra point.
Coming from McCutcheon. The snap is down, the kick is up, it is good, and with a minute and 47 seconds to go, Huntington has taken a 21-7 lead. We're going to go down to the field and check in with Katrina Blackman on the sidelines.
Thanks, Roger. Right now on the sideline, the Giants' teammates and coaches are telling the players on the field to keep your head up, not to let them score and get you down, and to move on to the next play. Thanks, Roger. Back to you.
Well, that's about the only thing you can do, Kyle. I mean, you're down 21-7. You're not going to score 14 points in one play, so you got to take it one play at a time and just start to work it and see if you can't work your way back and just put a good drive together.
Well, now we'll see where Marion's pride level is at. You know, tough season so far, only 1 win. You know, still something to play for. Senior night here.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how they respond and if they can get that intensity back up, that pride going. Because really, you know, that's the only thing they're going to have to do if they want any chance of making this one close again.
Well, they have the work cut out for them against a very stout Huntington North defense. This kick is high, end over end. It's bobbled back at the 10-yard line, picked up, and now Jones tries to get it out across the 15. He gets to the 16, and there's a flag on the play. So unless this is a penalty against the Vikings, which I highly doubt, it's going to put the Giants in even worse field position.
Yeah, another penalty on this kickoff after the bobble. And you talk about just turnovers in general and mistakes. Marion making quite a few more mistakes in this game so far with penalties, near turnovers, just miscommunications. Huntington North, you get the feeling, just kind of made one mistake on that defensive play of the first play.
Breathing room, though, on that carry as the Giants get it out to the 10-yard line.
A good run there, and you get the feeling that Marion needs to have some big plays. Huntington North getting comfortable with their defense, getting more aggressive now. So if the Giants can break open a play, it might give them a little momentum shift.
Trevino straight drop, fires it long across the middle, incomplete, and there's the flags. And that was the guy I was waiting for them to look across the middle, Spencer Reynolds on that play, and that's one of the favorite pass plays of the Giants, is that dump pass across the middle. And Reynolds got tangled up with the defender, and you see on the replay here.
But Jackson Kane here gets a little behind, lets Reynolds get past him, pulling the jersey down there, clearly pass interference. No chance there's not going to be a flag, and we saw about 4 flags fly out on that play.
So the officials will mark off this penalty of 15 yards, and it'll get the Giants again in a little more breathing room here as they get it out to the 24-yard line. So they'll have it there, first down and 10 from the 24. Giants need to keep this football for a while and at least change field position and keep their defense off the field, give them a little breather. Trevino Stretch draw to the left side. Will Collins with a nice run, a good pickup across the 30 and out to the 32-yard line.
He's at his best when he's outside the numbers, getting into space. And you saw it there around the left-hand side of the field. And they're going to need him to step up like he did on that first play. You see here he gets around the left side. His footwork is so much better when he's running to the outside versus the inside. He gives that speed. And Jackson Kane forces him out of bounds. But
well, with that play, the first quarter comes to a close. An exciting first quarter with a lot of scoring. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of the Grant County High School Football Game of the Week right after this.
All New Perspectives, we talk with Jan Long, the founder of the Mr. Canary Bird Feeders, and Jim Allball, the CEO and president of Carey Services. We hear about how Mr. Canary got started, how the business has grown, and how Carey Services plays a major role in this small business story. I'm Alan Miller. Join us this week as we explore a new perspective.
Back here at Dick Luton Stadium where the Giants trail 21-7. We'll check in really quick with Katrina Blackman.
Second down on the 32.
Back to Katrina in just a minute on that.
Looked like maybe
something did
a jumbled
work
snap.
there. And so now the Giants will be looking at a third down, and instead of short, it's going to be about 3rd and 6 now. Back at the 29-yard line after that loss.
And after that bad snap, you know, another mistake there and brings up 3rd down and 5.
Trevino rolls to his right, throws on the run, and it was tipped away. He was looking for, I think that was Spencer Reynolds. Boy, and that was not a bad throw. Actually, that wasn't Reynolds that time for the Giants. That was, yeah, it was Reynolds.
Well, that was the first time we've seen Trevino drop back without people in his face.
Yeah.
Actually had time to throw. A pretty good throw, but good coverage there by the Vikings. Had 2 men in that area.
Well, a promising-looking drive there for the Giants. Comes up short, and they'll have to kick it away. Jones with a very high punt. It's short, though. And it takes a bounce at the 43 and is down at the 40-yard line. And so Huntington North will start 1st and 10 at their own 40.
Yeah, and you just get the sense that Marion needed some sort of points on that drive.
Yeah.
You know, they got the pass interference penalty, which helped them out a lot. But then after the break at the quarter, just played a little bit sloppy again. And we'll see if the defense can step up now.
First and 10 for the Vikings. Well, the ball was spotted just inside the 40, and now as we start, it's moved out to the 41-yard line. So Wyatt Brown, see the linebacker there, talked about blitz, but instead Spencer Reynolds comes. That run, though, to the left side. Still on his feet. And a nice pickup for Beal that time as he gained 7 yards.
Just the contrast in the defense there. A lot of room on that left side. Got a pretty good gain, but looked like he had a lot of room in front of him once he bounced it outside of the line. And the Vikings are not letting that happen for the Giants on the other side of the ball.
We'll see some of the tackling woes continue for the Marion Giant defense. That time, that could have been maybe a 3-yard gain. Instead, it turns into a 7-yard gain. Snap, handoff right up the middle. A pickup of about 5 yards, and it'll be a Huntington North first down. Beal that time again with the carry, so he has a couple carries now and 12 yards.
Huntington North moving the ball quite a bit between their running backs. We saw Woods take it really early on in the game, but they've spread it around quite a bit between him, Beal, and Doughty. Those three guys have really carried the load.
And the offensive line for Huntington North has been playing well too. Beal this time slips through, gets inside the 45, inside the 40. Very near the first down. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, that's just what we talked about. Big yard plays on average. And there again, you see the left side of the field, cuts it back. Really nobody out there at the line of scrimmage to stop him. And, you know, if you're getting, 9 yards of carry, you're just going to march the ball down Marion's throat every drive.
Second down and 1 after that pickup of 9 yards from Beal. On 3 carries, he has 21 yards. Handoff straight up the middle. Beal, big yardage. Inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line.
And that's what happens when you're able to run the ball well up the middle or around the outside. The defense has a tough time adjusting to where you're going to go because really the whole field's wide open for Huntington North right now.
Timeout for the Marion Giants, and I think there's a pretty good timeout because the Giants got to find a way to get a stop here, Kyle.
Well, at the very least, if they can hold Huntington North, within a field goal, that's making progress at this point. And hopefully this timeout gives them a little rest, maybe regroup, stop the momentum. But, yeah, thus far, Huntington North just doing what they want with the ball on the ground.
Well, of course, this football game started out with the Giants taking an early 7-0 lead, and it's gone downhill from that point. We're going to check in with Katrina Blackman now.
Thanks, Roger. Towards the end of the first quarter, the Giants teammates were letting their players know to keep playing, that the game was not over, even though it is only the first quarter. This quarter, they want to make sure that they are switching to passing a lot more on the offensive end. Thanks, Roger. Back to you.
All right, and we've seen Trevino put a couple passing attempts, good throws on the spot, a couple good defensive plays for Huntington. But they've got to find some way to loosen up that Huntington defense. But first they got to find a way to get a stop. And that time only about 2 yards on that first down play.
And those are the kind of runs that Marion wants to hold Huntington North to is, 1 yard, 2 yard max. And that just hasn't happened so far. And we'll see if they can string a couple together here.
Second down. We'll call it 2nd down and 8. Beal, right side on the sweep. That time, again, the Giants do a good job of containing the run and holding to a short gain.
We see a little bit more discipline on that play from them. Like you said, containing the outside, put a lot of guys in the box, and then obviously you just have to execute and not let that runner find a hole. Good job there by the Giants defense, team effort-wise, to Beal hold him to about 2 yard gain.
Ian Reynolds with the tackle that time. 3rd down and about 5 here for Huntington North. Long, he's going to look to throw deep and over the head of his intended receiver, Alex McCutcheon, who's a wideout and a place kicker as well. So 4th down and 4th and 5, we should say, for Huntington.
It's interesting that Huntington North hasn't thrown the ball, as much as they have. Obviously, the run working very well, but this team, isn't afraid to throw either. We talked about Austin Woods running the ball, but they are, have the ability to mix it up quite a bit. But the run's just been working so well, they haven't needed to pass it that much.
There's a timeout in the field. There is a timeout. And this one by the Vikings. So 8 minutes and 3 seconds go here in the second quarter. The Vikings, who dominated the first quarter, have it in near the red zone. on it to 22. So the Vikings, man, with a score here, boy, Kyle, they really put the Giants in a bad way here early in this football game. But if the Giants can maybe get a stop here, take some momentum away, and see what happens.
Not only would it take the momentum away, just mentally for the Giants as a whole, I think if they could stop them on this 4th down, just get a little excited about something, and maybe one play at a time, start thinking that mentality. But it has to start with the stop right here.
Well, at 4th down, Huntington has some options here. We've seen them run the football, of course, with Woods. On this drive, it's been Beal, of course, but we've seen them do a couple tricky things with Doughty as well. So Long, he's only attempted 2 passes on the night. Well, 3 wideouts spread out to the left this time. Long has time, throws to the left, incomplete. No, it was caught by the second man. Oh, the brakes are going the way of the Foresters, the Vikings tonight.
You talk about right plays at the right time, and great job by that receiver keeping his eye on the ball. You see the tip, and he just great effort around the 10-yard line. That was Alex McCutcheon for the Vikings.
And so it'll be a 1st down. And now a penalty and a false start against the Vikings. They call them the Foresters. Of course, that's Huntington University. But it's 1st down and 10 from about the 11-yard line.
That is going to be tough for the Giants. You just can't. I think everybody on the sideline kind of got excited when they saw that ball about to hit the ground, but McCutcheon able to corral that one. But a false start there from the Vikings, so maybe, help the Giants out a little bit.
But it'll move the Vikings back 5 yards, so it'll be 1st and 15. They can get a 1st down, but they'd have to get it just inside the 1-yard line to do that. 1st and 15 here. Long looking to the right, throwing towards the corner of the end zone. Incomplete over the head of his intended receiver that time. It was number 23, Carson Wright.
Well, they have a couple more downs, but it'll be interesting to see if they can get a touchdown because Wright was pretty wide open.
Yeah.
And Long just kind of overthrew him a little bit, so we'll see if that plays a factor if they're unable to score.
Well, 2nd down and 15. 3 wideouts to the right this time for the Vikings. Long in the shotgun. Gave the handoff up the middle to Beal. And the official just got leveled as he got tied up in that mess there. I got to hope he's okay, but one of the umpire there
still
just
down.
Yeah, he got rocked.
Let's look at the replay here. Oh, he got right in the middle. Wow.
Well,
hit his head pretty hard.
You could see the back of his head bounce off the turf there.
And that just shows you how tough this sport is. Took a pretty good whack on the head after that, but he's up and moving around now. Hopefully he's all right.
Now, if that was a player, automatically have to come out of the game. I have no idea what they do with an official. I mean, he certainly should have. Anybody takes their head bounces off the turf like that should probably get checked out.
Maybe he'd just, have somebody stand in the middle besides him, kind of trade places.
Well, it was a pickup on that play. What about nearly 9 yards? So it looks to be about a 3rd down and 6 now.
Yeah, Beal once again just running it straight up the middle and just, pretty wide open spaces. You see there the ref taking a big old hit. He's able to get up and move around, though. It looks like he'll be all right.
Well, Woods started out this game with 66 yards and 5 carries, and after that it's been Beal who's been the workhorse. Yes, about 45 yards on 7 carries. So he's actually carried the ball more than anybody here for the Vikings. So I don't know if Woods just getting a breather or maybe if he was nicked up, banged up.
That's just a testament, though, to Huntington North and what they've been able to do tonight against this defense is that anybody's had success against the run.
Let's check in really quick with Katrina Blackman.
They are needing that official on their defensive end. It might be true looking at the score. Back to you, Roger.
Maybe helped out the Giants a little bit there.
There's a carry by Beal on 3rd down. He'll be short of the first. And Katrina's telling us that's kind of how the coaches were messing with the officials a little bit. Said, hey, we need you out there. Got to buckle up the chin strap.
All the help they can get at this point. But a good stop on 3rd down. We'll see what Huntington North does. I mean, they really have nothing to lose at this point, up 2 touchdowns, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went for it right here.
4th down. 2 yards to go for a 1st down. 3 yards to go for a touchdown. Beal has carried the ball well here. You got to believe he's going to get the handoff here. He does. He is into the end zone for the touchdown, but there's a flag on the play, and that flag came from the head referee.
It looks like it might be a holding. Face mask. I stand corrected. It's a face mask on Marion.
Well, of course, that's going to be declined, or maybe gets assessed on the kickoff, but the touchdown will stand. And so with 6 minutes and 34 seconds to go here in the first half, Beal scores his first touchdown and the 4th for the Vikings.
Well, a great effort there because he originally looked like he was potentially going to be stopped short of the line. But once again, we talked about the legs churning. Keeps his motor running, able to get in, and that 4th down play, that McCutcheon caught that tip ball. Just a heartbreaker right now for the Giants after they've given up that touchdown.
Now going for the extra point.
McCutcheon in for the extra point. Big score from over in CIC action. Oak Hill up on Mississinawa 21-0 with 26 seconds to go in the first half. Wow, what a big first half for the Golden Eagles. And we'll see those Golden Eagles next week here on WIWU, the Grant County High School Football Game of the Week, as they host cross-county rivals, the Madison Grant Argyles. That should be a great one.
That should be a very good game. Oak Hill having a great year.
Yeah, Coach Bud Osmond really has it rolling over there this year.
Beat Eastbrook last week, which is not an easy feat, and they are rolling right now.
You know, they had that hiccup earlier in the season against Alexandria, but they're really rolling tonight. Well, 28-7 here in Marion as Huntington has run off 4 straight touchdowns and blown this one open.
Man, it's crazy how quickly things can change. Marion, obviously, first play from scrimmage going the distance, getting up 7-0, and then you got to wonder if maybe they're just a little mentally excited, give up the next kickoff right after that, and suddenly it's 7-7. And ever since then, Huntington's just poured it on.
Giants could really use a nice kickoff return. You see Tyreek Bates back in the middle. Now, I think Will Collins is up. And that kick way out of bounds. You can't get more out of bounds than that kick. They obviously don't want Will Collins to touch the football on a kickoff, and they're kicking away from Sanders as well. Bates, they're going to say we're going to make the Giants start at the 35, and
there's been a penalty on almost every Marion kickoff return, and 2 of them now on Huntington North, but the past 2 before that one were on Marion. So I haven't seen a lot of good returns on the Marion side of the ball off the kickoffs.
Giants looking to make something positive happen here. With 6 minutes and 34 seconds to go here in the first half, and now, excuse me, stoppage of play here for some reason. There's some discussion. I can hear it through the microphones. They're talking about where the ball should be spotted. Of course, now the penalty is 25 yards from where the ball was kicked. And I don't know if maybe the coaches from Marion was saying, well, where did the ball go out of bounds? But anyways, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 30. Not sure if I understand. Well, the inside handoff, and nothing going there for Blackburn. In fact, the Giants are going to lose about 3 yards on that play.
That was Corbin Clark coming through for the tackle, and just Huntington North, the Vikings, able to get penetration through the line on almost every run play that Marion's doing. And just no room when you got 5 guys coming at you.
A loss of 3 yards on that play.
23.
Trevino checking his wrist there, looking maybe to change the play here at the line of scrimmage. Straight drop, dumps across the middle, almost picked off. Oh, that was a near disaster that time, as Brady Hill almost stepped in front of that one and took it to the house the other way. He'd have walked into the end zone.
Trevino, as we said, you know, under pressure quite a bit. And, oh, man, that would have been a pick 6 for sure. 35-7 is even worse than 28-7, obviously. So lucky for the Giants, even though they've still got 3rd and 13 coming up, that wasn't picked off.
And with the incomplete pass, it is 3rd down and 13 now. Of course, when you trail or fall behind and have to try to throw it more, then you're not getting the ball into Will Collins' hands with the run, so you got to be creative trying to get to your playmakers. And that pass was tipped, but then it was almost caught down that right sideline.
Drew Fawcett for the Vikings almost underran that throw. Looked like he had a read on it. But Derek Jones able to kind of follow that ball, almost caught it off the tip. That would have been a big play, but unfortunately able. You see Jones just keeps running on this play, and he's almost able to get that ball.
Well, the Giants will be forced to kick it away. That kick high. I think it's a pretty neutral bounce at the 44-yard line. It's down there.
At the 44-yard line of the
Huntington North
in
there. Their 1st and 10 drive. 5th offensive possession here.
The differences in field position starting to become a little obvious, because Huntington North starting around that area on almost every drive, whereas the Giants are pinned back deep in their own territory most times.
Of course, the Giants had the 1 touchdown run. That drive started at the 35. They did have 1 possession where they were able to, put together a good drive and got it fairly deep into Huntington territory, but turned it over on down. So it was somewhere, I think, around the 25, 30-yard line. But other than that, the Giants have not been able to get it across midfield.
That's just the thing, too, with Huntington North and being able to put up so many points offensively. Suddenly your defense has a lot more room for error. They can play more aggressively. And I think we're seeing that happen, because the Marion Giants, after the first 2 drives, have done nothing offensively. And just Huntington North really attacking them on both sides of the ball. And, Marion really, really struggling to get a rhythm on either side.
Well, I didn't see the flag or the penalty, but the officials mark off 10 yards. I think it was a hold down there. That's pretty sad if you that's one of those things that coaches, I think, would drive you crazy for Huntington, that a punt where you don't even feel the punt or get any kind of return, you still have a holding call,
Yep.
34.
1st and 10 for the Foresters. I keep saying the Foresters. Of course, it's the Vikings. Woods working the left side on the cutback. Gets a gain of about, actually, I thought that was Woods, but instead that was Carson Wright who carried the football. He had to carry early in this game for 4 yards. This one's good for six yards, and so it'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Vikings.
Huntington North running it to the left quite a bit.
Yeah, running to that strong side and the power of that offensive line, they've got some good holes. This time, up the middle. Woods breaks free. Almost tripped up, but he could go at the 30 to 25. at the 15 and into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's only Woods' third carry, isn't it?
I have it as his 6th carry.
Okay.
That one good, though, for some 56 yards.
If I were the Vikings, I'd give it to Woods every time because 2 of his 6 rushes have been for enormous touchdowns. And you see there, he's just almost on another level than this Marion Giants defense. Able to break tackles, and then the speed once he gets in the open field, just unstoppable right now.
6 carries, 122 yards for Woods. 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown run of 54 yards, that one for 56 yards. And now the Vikings have blown this one wide open, 34-7 with the extra point to come. It's up and it is good.
The kicker, the ball is up and good.
Mark it down, 35-7 now for the Vikings with 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go in the first half.
And that's a pretty good average there for Woods on yards per carry.
Well, we want to remind you that our next game will be the game of the week here in WIWU. Oak Hill versus Madison Grant High School, and that should be a huge CIC matchup. The Golden Eagles prepare to maybe wrap up a CIC championship and move on into sectional play. Next Friday, you can catch that game 11 p.m. on WIWU-TV and, of course, online at WITV.com. But that should be a great one, the Argyles and the Golden Eagles.
I'm excited about that matchup. That should be a fun game.
Tell you what, we mentioned it earlier, but Oak Hill tonight in the first half up on top of Mississinawa, 21-0.
Oak Hill's playing very, very good football right now and just rolling a very good team, quite frankly.
And that score is shocking to me, though. We'll try to keep some other updates on that game as we go. But here it's 35-7. Vikings in control of this football game. That kickoff once again goes out of bounds. I guess they're just going to go and see if they can't kick it as close to the sideline as they can. If it goes out of bounds, it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, Huntington North not looking too worried on defense. Giants haven't been able to move the ball much, despite having some good field position here and there. But
there you see the procedure plan. I'm gonna be real honest with you, Kyle. I'm a little confused as to why the ball is starting at the 35-yard line when the kick goes out of bounds. The last time it went out of bounds was at the 30. So unless there was a penalty prior to the last kickoff that was assessed and moved the football up, maybe that was it and we didn't catch it. But
I have no idea.
You know what? Now that I think, was that the kickoff right after the face mask? If it was an inadvertent face mask and only a 5-yard penalty, then there's a flag after the play, and I think one of the Vikings defenders maybe slapped the helmet with one of the Giants there, and this could be 15 yards against the Vikings.
We'll see.
But getting back to the 35, there you see the
looks like
tangled up a little bit.
Yeah, a little tangle up between receiver and cornerback on that play.
It could be both ways. We'll see what it'll be personal foul Vikings and personal foul Giants. Kind of that. I don't want to say cop-out call, but it really makes no difference.
They were both kind of going at each other, and it's always a thing of who starts it and then who gets retaliation. Sometimes it's hard to tell, but again, the Vikings just able to stop this run play before it even starts, and just nowhere to go. You got a sense that maybe Marion's going to try to pass it sometime on first down, but it's kind of risky. But honestly, they're not getting much yards on first down anyways.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the differences you see in the running game right now is the Vikings, they're getting yards after the carry, after contact, excuse me, positive yards. Not so for the Giants tonight. Second down and 9 after pickup of gain of 1 yard. High formation. Pitch, just no blocking up front whatsoever, and Sanders is going to be hammered. And that is going to be a loss of at least 6 yards, maybe 7.
I mean, just the rush here from the Vikings. Getting through the line, and then Sanders is worried about holding that ball. First of all, bobbed it a little bit, and there's no chance of him regaining.
Yeah, no, he has no shot there. 4:01, now exactly 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 3rd and 16 here for the Giants. Straight drop. Now Trevino on the run. He's going to throw. He's got his man wide open. Midfield. 45, the 40. Reynolds still on his feet. 35, and finally hauled down at the 31-yard line. And I tell you what, that's I'm impressed with how Trevino can throw the football on the run.
Kept his composure on this play. That was the biggest difference between him and the other pass plays. As you can see, moving to his left, that's a difficult throw. But Reynolds able to get behind the defenders, and then he has a nice yardage after the catch. And big conversion because that was 3rd down as well.
Well, by far the biggest pass play of the game for the Giants, and only for the second time from scrimmage do they get the ball across midfield. But as we said, a chance to maybe make something positive happen here before they go into the half. Blackburn right up the middle. Fights his way for, well, let's give him a gain of 3 yards.
Well, that's a good effort. You know, he looked like he was stopped again, pretty close to the line, and that's just what you want to see. You know, despite being down 35-7, you see that effort of just continuing to give it all and try to do something offensively is good to see from the Giants.
2nd down and 7. Giants have Sanders wide to the right. Jones wide to the left. Oh, and blown up in the backfield. Wow. Actually, that was Sanders who was in the backfield, I should say. That was Xavier Fuller.
Hear that up here. You could hear that hit all the way up here in the press box. That was Brady Hill.
One of the Giants down on the field.
Oh, man.
Well, the tailback's got no chance. None.
At that point, you're just trying to not get killed, frankly.
We're turning the football over. Well, after the gain of 3 yards, it's a loss of 4, and so now the Giants will be looking at a 3rd down and 11.
Trying to see who's down right there. I can't quite tell.
One of the offensive linemen, tell you what, they are very, very thin up front.
Number 50, Malik Smith on that play. He's the one down. I'm not quite sure what happened to him.
Just got tangled up. But coming into this game, the Giants really only had 6 offensive linemen who had any kind of varsity experience at all. And tell them kind of favoring that left shoulder. But they injuries have not been kind to the Giants this season. And they're thin in some spots. And yeah, he
just
right
fell down
immediately. Just
not quite sure what happened. It looked kind of like an awkward just fall straight off the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 11, 2 minutes and 25 seconds remain here in the second quarter. Stay tuned for our halftime show. Trevino rolling to his right, stops, throwing back across the middle, and incomplete. There's a flag on the play. I would not be surprised if that's offensive pass interference.
It looked like Reynolds had a fistful of jersey. I'm not sure he was moving away, but kind of hard to tell.
I think maybe Reynolds. No, it's called against the defense.
Wow. From up here, it certainly looked like Reynolds was pushing and shoving. Well, here's the replay right here.
A break for the Giants.
Most definitely. Trevino moving to his right here. He's great at scrambling. Throws that one up. I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
Hard to tell, but
the defender was not looking back for the football. 2 officials threw their flags, so they had to agree on it at some level. And
you know, that's the thing about you know, Trevino being able to get outside. You know, when the quarterback's mobile like that as a defensive back, it's hard to keep your head turned around when you're just trying to keep up with the receiver. So unfortunate for the Vikings, but pretty big break. That was 3rd down and 11 for the Giants.
Now they have it 1st and 10 from the 18, and we have seen some good things when Trevino's been able to get out of the pocket and roll. It's straight snap to Collins. He fights his way back near the line of scrimmage. I think he's going to lose a yard. Trying to get Will Collins the football in a variety of ways. That time they snapped it directly to him.
Well, he hasn't had his hands on the ball for a while now. Can't remember the last time they just fed him the ball like that. He was actually in the quarterback position. So definitely the Giants trying to get the ball in his hands, but not able to do anything on that play.
2nd down and 11. Minute 40 to go. Giants have a couple timeouts remaining. Trevino now rolling to his right. He's going to keep the football. Tries to turn it upfield, then he's hit hard and goes down after a gain of a couple yards. He got it down to the 17-yard line. So
brings up
third down.
Yeah, another 3rd down and long. I was just going to say, trying the option to the right side here, but you know the drives where they're running the ball twice in a row, Huntington North just pins their ears back and is able to stop them pretty quickly.
3rd down and 9 after a gain of 2. Trevino. Oh, the snap goes way over his head. It's still loose. The ball's still loose. And the Vikings are going to cover it.
Looks like Corbin.
Back to the 33-yard line.
Corbin Clark, I think, jumped on it.
2-yard line.
Trevino made the mistake of trying to pick that ball up and run with it. And bad snap leads to worse things. You see trying to pick up the ball, and you're always taught to just hop on it in that situation. So, looks like a flag just came on the field.
As the teams are walking off the field and coming out, and looks at unsportsmanlike conduct penalty is going to be called against the Vikings. So either a coach or a player must have said something to either one of the Giants or one of the officials, and instead of the ball at the 33, they're going to march it back 15 yards.
One of the rare mistakes we've seen from the Vikings so far in this game. Aside from the kickoffs going out of bounds, I guess that considered a mistake.
44 seconds to go here.
Let's see if anything happened.
It was well after the play. Way after the play. And the penalty marker came from...
it came from Huntington North's side of the field.
Well after that. Number 20 there. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
I don't know what he said, but it was the wrong thing. And it cost the Vikings 15 yards. Just a little handoff there. And gain the Vikings about 5 yards. And the Vikings will have to run. Well, no, they don't have to run one more play because the play clock is not starting. We're down to 20 seconds. And so that will, if the Vikings choose, will be the last play of the first half.
I'm not sure why they would run a play at this point. Looks like they're just going to run the clock out.
Well, in the first half, indeed, is going to wind down here. And Kyle Johnson, boy, a first half that started out with so much promise for the Marion Giants after that spectacular run from Will Collins. The Giants jumped out on top 7-0, but from that point on, boy, it's been all Huntington North, and they'll go into the locker room at half with the 35-7 lead. And the Vikings, a couple of tailbacks, Woods, he's only carried the ball. I have him unofficially with only 6 carries, about 122 yards, 1 touchdown run of 56 yards, 1 of 54. Beal has run the ball as well, so it's been an outstanding first half for the Vikings. Well, we're going to take it to our halftime show with Tim Tedeschi. We have Wildcat Week halftime show. We'll come back right after this on WIWU. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Wildcat Week halftime show. I'm your host, Tim Tedeschi. Let's take a break from the high school football game between Marion and Huntington North to get you caught up on some Wildcat sports news. The men's and women's tennis team each capped off excellent seasons on Saturday. Both Wildcat squads won their Crossroads League tournament, and as a result, they are headed to NAIA Nationals next May. The conference title was the 16th straight for the women's tennis team, while the men won their first conference tournament title in 5 years. Both teams traveled to Indianapolis to face Marion University in the finals. Play was moved indoors due to weather, and the women played first. The Wildcats found themselves with little room for error after doubles as Marion took 2 of the 3 doubles matches. Diane Jones and Ellen Hornet won 8-6 at 3 doubles for IWU. The women took care of business quickly in singles, however. Katie Wilson easily won at number 1 singles, leveling the match at 2 matches all. Rachel Botorf and Michaela Marazzi then won as well, pushing the Wildcats to within 1 victory of the championship. Kim Mella then sent the Knights packing, and IWU won by a score of 5-2. The men followed the women, and the Wildcats got off to a quick start in doubles. Kyle Johnson and Brandon Dubuque took the 1 doubles match, and Adam Roten and Joel Montgomery won at 3 doubles. With a 2-1 advantage heading into singles, the Wildcats were pumped up. Kyle Johnson and Gavin White were victorious at 1 and 2 singles, making the score 4-1 overall. And freshman Joel Montgomery made the win final by taking the 4 spot in 3 sets. 5-1 was the final score. The men's soccer team came away successful on Wednesday night, defeating cross-county rival Taylor University. Both teams came into the contest atop the league standings. The Trojans came into town looking for the upset, but would get none of the sort. The Wildcats would strike first right before the half as Keaton Albert gets the great assist from Tyrone Martin here, and he capitalizes, putting the Wildcats up 1-0. Martin would then score a goal of his own, breaking the tie and giving the Wildcats a 2-1 lead. Taylor Lehman then increases the lead here and makes it a 2-goal game by scoring his goal. That would put the Wildcats up 3-1, and Taylor Lehman's goal ended up being the game-winning goal as Taylor University would score one more time, but the Wildcats ended up coming away victorious by a final score of 3-2. After the game, Courtney Hanley caught up with assistant men's coach Joe Schulman and Taylor Lehman, who scored the winning goal.
We've got some special players, and I think that the class of those guys shine through ultimately. You know, Taylor comes at you hard, and we know that. They come very directly, and they come over the top, and they come with a lot of numbers, and it's difficult to overcome that sometimes. But the guys stayed focused, and they stayed with a plan, and it wasn't the prettiest soccer, but you know, good teams win ugly, and these guys did really well today with that.
It was a big game, and we were getting really hyped for it. Obviously, it's our rival, Taylor, so it was a big deal. And we just knew we were going to have to grind this one out. Kind of an ugly game, but you just got to grind it out against Taylor, and you never know what's going to happen, and thankfully we pulled this one out.
The women's volleyball team also won this week, traveling to Mount Vernon, Ohio to take on the Cougars. Remy Buckner and Morgan Miller led the Wildcats with 19 kills each. Mount Vernon, however, wouldn't go down easily, and this match would go the distance. The Wildcats would take the 5th and final game by a score of 15-6 and took this contest by a final score of 3-2. Well, that will about do it for this edition of Wildcat Week Halftime. Remember, if you ever want more information about WIWU and all Wildcat sports, you can visit www.wiwutv.com. That's wiwutv.com. That's all we have for this Wildcat Week Halftime. Now let's get back to the football field for the second half of the Marion and Huntington North High School Football Game of the Week. I'm Tim Tedeschi, and you've been watching the Wildcat Week Halftime Show.
Welcome back to Dick Luton Stadium. We're at the half. The Giants trail the Vikings of Huntington North 35-7. We're going to take a look at some of these halftime stats, and it's going to be pretty obvious it's well in favor of the Vikings. Although, interesting enough, the Giants 61 yards of passing to only 24 of Huntington North, but Huntington North hasn't had to throw the football, Kyle, because they've put 181 yards together on the ground in one half of football. That's running the football pretty good.
Yeah, they've been pretty dominant rushing the football against the Marion defense, and you can see Marion had some success and some balance offensively, but just not nearly enough big plays to hang with Huntington North, and the defense of the Vikings just stout.
The Vikings, 10 first downs, only 6 for the Giants. You see that one fumble counting against Marion, but they put the ball on the ground a couple more times. They were fortunate to get it back. But the Vikings, boy, they've been dominant on the interior, especially the defensive line. They've just they've wreaked havoc on Lorenzo Trevino when he's been in the pocket, and then they've gotten in the backfield and hitting the backs in the backfield quite a bit. You see the 4 sacks there, but they've been in the backfield all night.
Yeah, just able to get pressure and stop the run behind the line frequently. So not surprised that they have 4 sacks there, but just a dominant effort on both sides of the ball. After Marion got up to a hot start, Huntington North just put all that behind them.
And speaking of a hot start, there was Will Collins as the first play from scrimmage. He scrambled 65 yards for the touchdown, but on the ensuing kickoff, Huntington North got it right back on that touchdown run there from number 14 of the Vikings, Drew Fawcett, and he was big in the first half. And this was the guy really in the first half was dominant, was Woods, Adam Woods. Big run there, his first touchdown run. That one is some 54 yards. He had one of 56 yards later.
And you see right after that was 14-7 right away, and then mistakes by the Giants here.
Yeah.
They recovered this fumble, but just a lot of mental errors trying to catch up.
Field position just killed the Giants in the first half. There was the nice little inside handoff for the touchdown run there by Wright to put the Vikings up 21-7. They're so good they can hang in midair.
Here's Woods again on this run. Just you can see once he gets to that second level, there's little to no hope for the Marion defense.
Well, again, the Giants, this was the one fumble that they lost possession of. After putting a good drive together, they were putting a good drive together, but that turnover came back to hurt them badly there. And so I think, obviously, Kyle, you're trailing 35-7. You have to kick off here to start the game. The Giants need to just get something positive to happen, make some good things happen, play for your seniors. We're going to send it down to the third member of our team one time here before we have the kickoff with Katrina Blackman.
Coming out of the halftime, the Giants have made a couple changes. They want to make sure that they simplify the game a little bit, going to a 5-3 defense instead of a 4-4. Also, they want to make sure that they hit their assigned gaps on defense. The main key right now is to chip it back a little bit, one touchdown at a time. Back to you, Roger.
All right. Thank you very much, Katrina Blackman. The kickoff is taken out across the 30, out to the 33-yard line. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings.
And we'll see how Marion responds on defense to start this half because, not what you want being down 35-7 with Huntington North moving the ball as easily have they have coming out with the ball on this possession.
She talked about the Giants moving to a little more 5-3 alignment. They've got to stop the run. Got to stop the run and make something happen there. Well, instead, they're going to start the second half with an offsides penalty.
A little bit too eager to stop the run. Oh, actually, a false start, looks like.
Oh, okay. Well, the Giants jumped for a reason that time.
So that could help the Giants right away. A little penalty right off the bat, give them 5 extra yards to go.
Long threw the ball about 5 times in the first half. Huntington North doesn't throw the football much. Long can throw. He's got a good arm, but Lions are going to try to stack up that line of scrimmage and see if they can't, stop these big gains of first down where Huntington North was getting 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a pop on first down. And that time, a gain of about 3 on that first down carry.
Yeah, here's Woods, and, we talked about his huge averages in the first half. And, nice little run there, but good stop for the Giants, only allowing a yard.
Second, long, rolling out to his right. Throws under pressure. Nice throw, has his man out across the 45. Cross midfield into Giant territory. Out of bounds at the 49.
That was Jack Dowdy. And you can see right here, Long rolling to his right, and he has a couple options because both of the receivers coming across the field, so he can look short field or long field. Turns it up a little bit there. Dowdy was open, turns the corner for a nice gain.
That's a really nice throw from Long on the run. Rolling to his right, and he put it right on the numbers there to Dowdy. I mean, just caught him in perfect stride. But when you have the lead, it's easier to play with confidence and poise, and you don't have the pressure to make something happen. Well, here's Woods, left side. He has running room inside the 30, inside the 25, and finally hauled down.
Well, that's
the 18-yard line.
That was a good play fake as well. Long kind of looked like he kept it. And Woods, again, running it to the strong side, Huntington North. And then we saw that all first half. Gets a nice block there down the field. And then he takes the defender an extra 6 yards with him.
Boy, about 157 yards unofficially on 8 carries for Woods. Inside handoff, Woods carries defenders inside the 5 and finally hauled down just shy of the goal line at the 2-yard line, and there's a Giant down on the field.
Here's the replay, and Woods, again, they go left and then they go up the middle, and then they go left and up the middle. And just, you wonder if Marion had 14 guys out there, if they'd be able to stop this rushing attack. Players still down on the field.
Don't get the number there yet. The Giants banged up coming into this ball game, and they've been nicked up even a little bit more.
Well, that's not what you want to see, obviously, from a health standpoint, just for that individual, but also as a team. The defense already kind of thin as it is, and you don't want anybody else going down at this point.
Adam Woods for Huntington, 180 yards now on the ground. Hey, while we've got the injury time out here, we've mentioned, Kyle, this is a senior night here for the Giants. The coaching staff still coaching away there, and getting up off the ground for the Giants. Big number 71 for the Giants is Robert Smith. But when I mention some of these seniors, of course, talked about Will Collins, number 1. Number 4, Eliza Callahan. He's a senior. Trey Rowe. Number 7, Cedric Johnson. Mark Cohn and Pedro Garcia. Troy McGee, number 20 for the Giants. Javon Yeakel, and of course Spencer Reynolds playing his final home game for the Giants. We talked a little bit about Wyatt Brown, the linebacker. Noah Graham, Tyree Smith, Terrell Gamble, and Jashawn Pettiford. Those guys, all seniors here, finishing out their home career for the Giants here at Dick Luton Stadium. Woods slips through the tackler and walks it into the end zone. His 3rd touchdown of the ball game, and the Foresters now on top, 41-7.
Yeah, there's more of the same here from Huntington North, and we talked about them getting the ball first, second half. Same old, driving down the field. Not very many plays, but just several big rushes. And
I gotta apologize. I keep calling Huntington with the Foresters, and after about a dozen years of Indiana Wesleyan and Huntington College basketball games, it's just like that. There's that natural connection with the word Huntington and Foresters for some reason. But For Huntington North Vikings.
Yeah. Well, whatever they are, they're just destroying the Giants right now.
Really.
I don't think it would matter if they were, you know, a less intimidating mascot. It wouldn't matter. We talked about the seniors, and, you know, obviously Collins is going to be missed.
I want to mention that Wildcat Week we caught every week, weeknights at 7:30 p.m. Catch you on WIWU-TV 51, or of course WIWU-TV.com. And when I can't be there, that's me, spectacular Kyle Johnson fill in. But Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Wednesdays you can catch Wildcat Week on WIWU. Hard to believe we're into another season of Wildcat Week.
I know.
I think we got some good, exciting changes to the show this year. A little more features and interaction, more. Love talking basketball, and both on the men and women's side, but making sure we cover all the sports and even more in depth. And so it's going to be a great year of Wildcat Week.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun.
And I think I'll have to check with Paul and Nathan and Randall. This might be our 10th season of Wildcat Week.
It is. I believe 10th year.
Ball. Well, believe it or not, Kyle, the kickoff goes out of bounds.
We've seen that only 3 times tonight. It's actually the 9th season.
Well,
correction.
You know, and we can now officially say we heard from the truck. You know, before we could say the guys in the truck, but we really didn't have a truck. Now we have a truck.
We actually have a truck.
And it's a pretty sweet machine.
It is that. We'll see how Marion answers on this drive offensively. Just the one touchdown, basically from one play from Collins.
And the Giants start out this drive in the I formation. Trevino hands it off to the first man through, and a nice run on first down. In fact, first down yards and more. The ball was down, and it came loose after the play, but a pickup of 12 yards in that first down run, right up the gut. I think Noah Graham fell on that loose ball. Let's see if it was a fumble or not.
Recovers the ball for the Giants.
You know, that might have been.
I can tell from that angle. It looked like he might have been down, though. Not sure if they officially made that a fumble or not.
Well, 12 yards in that run for Blackburn. And the Giants, you know, struggled to get it across midfield in the first half, Kyle. They'd love to put together just a nice, solid drive here. Well, we'll stretch draw play, and Will Collins was hit in the backfield, and just like that, the Giants are going to lose about 5 yards in that play.
Huntington North on both sides of the ball has just won the line of scrimmage, you know, whether it's on defense, getting that push, or offensively rushing the ball. That's been the biggest difference between the two teams, just that offensive line and the defensive line for the Vikings.
And that, you know, other than that one long 65-yard touchdown run from Will Collins, they have just not been able to get him the ball anywhere where he's had some space to run with it. Second and long. Toss across the middle. Complete for the Giants. He has running room. He's off to the races. 35 down to the 25-yard line. A very nice run after the catch that time. And who was that made that grab?
Derek Jones. Derek Jones, you know, is a pretty big kid, 6'3". Here's the replay. Pressure again, like we've said, but Trevino able to get this ball, and Jones is wide open. He just does some damage after the catch.
I don't know if you caught it on the replay there, but out of the corner, Jones slipped and fell coming out of his stance there, and I think the defenders just kind of forgot about it. He got up and was wide open across the middle. And that's what we talked about at the beginning of the game. The Giants have some speed on the perimeter. They've got some good athletes. They just have not been able to get them the ball in space like that. Normally, when Trevino's going back to pass, he's not had time to throw. Well, a timeout is going to be called on the field. The Giants could not get that play off, so instead of taking the penalty, they call a timeout.
Well, we talked about, the seniors offensively, and obviously Collins will be missed, next year, and Reynolds, Spencer Reynolds is gone too. But we see on this drive, Blackburn, now Derek Jones, they're all still young and they're coming back. Trevino have another year under his belt, so things looking up next year. Yeah, they'll still have some speed, some playmakers with another year of development. So
Derek Jones only sophomore. Tyree Bates, he's a junior. Sanders is a junior. There's definitely some young guys in the skill positions. Of course, Trevino, the quarterback, he's only a sophomore. But these guys, if during the off season, and there's still some football to be played yet this year, but if during the off season they can come together and work hard and develop kind of that cohesion that's required on the offensive side of the football, they can make some good things happen.
And they're not losing quite as many guys defensively either, so that's also good news for Marion.
Well, 8 minutes and 55 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Giants have the football. 1st and 10. Trevino, he's going to eat the football back at the 30-yard line, and that's what we talked about. Just doesn't have time to throw, not time for the play to develop because the defender in that time.
Joe Bentz right there. I mean, it's just making it look easy. I mean, that looks like flag football where there's no blocking almost, and Trevino, you can't blame him for being frustrated. Just no time whatsoever to throw the football.
A loss of 6 yards on the play, so it will be 2nd and 16. We've seen Trevino make some good things happen on the run. That time he gets to Collins. Collins cuts it back up across the middle. Gets a nice gain that time on the 2nd down and 16 play.
Nice run by Collins there, and if we get a replay, you'll see even then Trevino almost went down on the exchange. That's how quickly the Vikings are getting in the backfield. Here's the replay. He almost got tackled before he handed the ball off to Collins, and that's just almost, I mean, what can you do against that type of defense?
Well, Collins does pick up 12 yards on the play, gives the Giants some breathing rooms. This is certainly 4-down territory. They have 3rd and 4. A couple plays here to pick up the 1st down. Trevino under pressure, nowhere to go, and down he goes. And there's just more guys rushing the quarterback and getting in the backfield than what the Giants have up front to block.
Well, that time it was Lucas Johnson, coming up the middle and off the edge. And just, I mean, that was a makeable 3rd down play. 3rd down and 4, you're looking at, relatively not easy, but, easier to convert 3rd downs than they've had all game. And just, Vikings again getting in the backfield with ease.
Well, Luke Oliver is in the game now to attempt what will be about a 42-yard field goal for the Giants. This would be a season long if Oliver, can hit. Now is there a timeout in the field? That's a delay of game. Well, that's going to make it, instead of a 42-yard field goal attempt, to about a 47-yard field goal attempt. And just that much, that's, I think, going to be about a yard short. If they take it back about a half yard, it could tie a school record. 48-yard would be the long here at Marion High School. Snap is down. Kick is up, and it is no good. Short and to the left, but give Oliver some credit that time. The snap was a little high. The holder did a good job getting down, and that was not a bad kick.
No, it looked like it had a chance.
Yeah.
Definitely, gave us all some hope
Tell you what,
at the
from
very
42
least.
yards, that's a different story.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's once again mistakes. Delay a game. There's just no point to that. But yeah, that had a chance. Just a little bit short to the left, but
That 5 yards made a big difference on that play. Well, after the missed field goal attempt that goes out of the back of the end zone, Vikings will have it first down and 10 from the 20-yard line. 6:39 to go here in the third quarter. Long takes the snap, hands it off. Woods at the line of scrimmage and picked up about a half a yard.
Good push there from the Giants defense, just not enough of that tonight.
Yeah.
Very, very consistent with that. We've seen a couple plays like that, but for the most part, that's been a rarity where they've been able to get to the runner to the line of scrimmage and stop him.
Second down and 10. Looks like Beal in the backfield now. Gets the handoff. Good time that time by the Giants defense. Keeps him to a gain of only 2 yards, and so now it'll be third down and looks like about 7 or 8 yards to go.
Vikings trying the right side of the field. You know, they've gone a lot to the strong side, but not much success there, and potentially a third and out.
We've seen Ian Reynolds a couple times on the perimeter, and he's only a sophomore. We talked about some of the young players. Did a good job containing, shed the blocker, and made the tackle. Third and long, that screen to the left side. Running towards the middle and near the first down marker. Going to be about a half a yard shy. The Vikings will be. I tell you what, the receiver that time, if he'd have turned it straight up field, I think he'd had the first down and more.
Yeah, it came across the middle, and Terrell Gamble for the Giants did a good job not giving up on that play. Another Giant down on the field, and they've just been bit by the injury bug in this game.
You know, Long's got a pretty good arm.
You see 75 right here. Good effort getting back, and that really stopped his momentum.
I think that was Gradeless on the carry. Well, join us for Crossroads every weekday evening at 7 and 10 p.m. And this Monday, we have stories from the River's Edge Pumpkin Patch, the Color Me Pink Color Run for Cancer Services, and a special performer from Mississinawa 1812. That's Crossroads every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m. on Grant County Station, WIWU-TV. That sounds like an exceptional episode of Crossroads. I got to make sure
that does. That does sound like a great show.
The pumpkin patch. Who doesn't love a pumpkin patch?
It's hard to believe it's that time of year again already.
Yeah. Out of River's Edge this year. Mississinawa 1812. I know you're a student at IW. Have you ever been out to Mississinawa 1812?
I have not, actually.
It is remarkable. Take a look at the replay here.
Here's the injury replay. Just looks like maybe an awkward landing there on the tackle. Grabbing his knee a little bit. Hopefully that's not too bad. Knee injuries tend to be pretty bad.
It's going to be 4th down and 1 for Huntington. And that'll be interesting to see. Up 42-7. Do the Vikings kick it away on 4th down, or do they just try to continue to run the football and possess the football and run out some clock? And I would assume if you're going to run the football, you hand it off to Adam Woods and see what he can do.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to be coming. And you know, you got to wonder how confident Marion is in being able to stop a 1-yard run.
Unofficially, Adam Woods has 185 yards. A couple substitutions along the defensive line for the Giants. Well, the Vikings looks like they're going to go for it. There's a power formation to the left side of the line here. They might try to draw the Giants offside. No, they snap it. Woods hit right at the line of scrimmage, but I think he got the first down. And now a flag late comes flying in way back from the official way back in the backfield.
Not sure what that would be. That was well away from the play.
And towards the end of the play, we'll see what the call is here. And it's a personal foul on Marion. Well, even had they stopped
the Vikings, they would have given up a first down and personal foul, but it's hard to believe or hard to see what that would have been from there.
Well, that's the kind of stop they're looking for. Unfortunately, just, he had already gotten the first down at that point. But, yeah, definitely a lot of mistakes adding up for the Giants, and just another penalty that really could have been avoided.
Well, we're getting excited for our final broadcast of high school football next week as Madison, Grant, and Oak Hill will tangle in a huge CIC matchup. All sorts of conference championship implications in that one. Oak Hill just rolling tonight over a very good Oak Hill team. Last score we've heard 35-0. That's it. Oak Hill, I meant Mississippi. Woods, left side, has plenty of running room inside Giants territory and run out of bounds inside the 40 and knocked out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
I think it was actually Carson Wright there.
Oh, it was Wright, yes.
But, yeah, we've seen them on those toss plays get huge gains. And just, the Vikings have speed on offense. Talk about Marion's speed, but definitely able to get to the outside quite a bit and just get, gobs of yardage on those rushing plays. Just under 5 minutes to go here. And you get the sense Huntington's just going to score again on this drive and make it even worse for the Giants.
Keep it on the ground, pound it away, and keep the clock running. There's the inside handoff. That to Doughty. Gets it inside the 35 down to the 30. So pick up a couple of yards.
This play is really nifty. It looks like they're going to toss it, and then they have somebody coming from the other side of the field, just a quick inside run. They've had success on that play several times tonight.
Gain of 6 yards. A second down and 4 for the Vikings. And Doughty's had a few carries tonight, about 4 carries. He's picked up about 15 yards. And little plays just like that. Right, that side, he's hemmed in, and he's going to lose a couple yards, but a flag comes flying in on the tackle, and I wonder if the Giants grabbed a hold of a face mask there.
I don't know what else it would be. There are only 4 Giants in that area and only one Viking.
Well, and that's just the way it's gone for the Giants tonight. Even when something good, positive seems to happen, something, something negative happens on the play. We remember the first half looked like the penalty or the pass play that was going to be incomplete, also deflected into the arms of another receiver. This time a tackle for a loss. Well, there's a face mask on it. There's a 4th down play earlier that good defensive play. Now, although the Vikings would have picked up the first down, it had only been a gain of yard. Well, instead there's a personal foul on that play, and it's just little things like that continuing to happen and really hurt them.
Yeah.
Be a first down from the Giants' 25-yard line. That's Doughty with the carry that time. Actually, no, that was Beal with the carry, Alex Beal. Picks up 2.5 yards, so it will be
a good tackle here. Keeping the legs going, forcing him back, not letting him get any more yardage. And, yeah, we talked about Marion defense having some problems and mistakes and, the tip ball, and it's better to be lucky than good, and Huntington North's been both of those tonight.
There with the football now, fighting his way to the 15-yard line, and that time it was Colton Nall on the pass play.
A little screen pass again, and he goes back inside the middle. We saw that just earlier this drive. And again, a little sloppy tackling, a couple extra yards.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Giants got to do a better job tackling that time. You cannot tackle grabbing someone's shoulder pads. You got to get down and tackle their legs. The inside handoff. Beal gets it inside the 10-yard line. And right now the Vikings just methodically working their way down the field.
Yeah, and, you know, we don't really keep track of time of possession, but you just can't. I can't even imagine the discrepancy between Huntington North having the ball versus the Marion Giants because, you know, that defense has struggled, but they've been on the field for a long, long time.
Minute and a half to go here in the third quarter. Vikings on the run here, on the march. Beal, right side, turns it upfield. Actually, that's Doughty that time. And he gets it inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal now for the Vikings. The clock stops with the first down.
Well, whatever type of run play they're running, they're having success. So, I mean, there's no reason to go to the air for the Vikings. They're just marching it down the field with ease and looking like they're going to score again here for sure.
Lucas Long under center now, 1st and goal. Right in motion, inside handoff to Doughty, and he walks into the end zone for the touchdown. And so now it is 48-7. Vikings on top with the extra point to come, and 1 minute and 3 seconds to play here in the third quarter.
You got to wonder what the game plan is going to be now for the Giants offensively. Do you try to play aggressively and pass the ball, or are you just trying to run out the clock so you don't let Huntington North score again? You know, a lot of questions.
Extra point is up, and it is good, and so the Vikings send the lead to 49-7. Just over a minute to play here.
Well, we see that play that they've run several times. I don't know what you'd call that, but kind of a fake toss and then just an end-around type play. But Marion seems to bite on that fake toss almost every time and go the wrong direction.
Talked about Oak Hill tonight with the big lead against Mississinawa. Their opponent next week in Madison Grant. They're laying it on Blackford right now. 8 minutes and 47 seconds to go in that ball game, 51-14. And Eastbrook Panthers with the big score tonight, currently 48-8 over Frankton. So the Eastbrook getting it rolling tonight as well.
Very good conference season so far in the CIC, and lots of excitement down the stretch, especially next week with that game.
And just crazy. I mean, how can you figure, Mississinawa with just an outstanding game against Eastbrook we had here in WIWU a couple weeks ago, where they, were just offensively on fire. Eastbrook, of course, has been solid and consistent, but they've dropped a few games as well. But then tonight, Oak Hill with the huge victory. Well, Will Collins with the football is back to his end zone. Now he gets out across the 15, across to the 20, and finally pushed out of bounds at the 22. But what looked like it was going to be a near disaster for the Giants, Collins is able to salvage it and get it out to 22. That was scary looking.
Speaking of dropping things, I mean, the Giants have just not been good on kickoff returns or punt returns. Little miscommunication there, and Will Collins almost gets a safety but finds a way to get out of the end zone. A flag down, though. Might be another holding or blocking the back penalty.
Oh, I did not see that, but let's see if we can see it on the replay. No, I didn't see anything there, but because the flag is laying back around the, the 13-yard line, and of course.
Well, there's actually two, one on each side of the field.
And the officials have taken the football back. Let's see where it ends up being spotted down. Well, they're going to mark it or start walking back from the 11 And so the Giants, instead of having it 1st and 10 at the 22, well, now is the official going to mark it back the other way?
I think there was a penalty on Huntington North as well, so I think it offset. I think
Looks
it
like
put it back to where Will Collins ran out of bounds.
So the net difference is about a yard, and it'll be just across the 20-yard line. A little mathematics lesson right there.
Oh,
subtract 5 and add 15 or something. I don't know, but it was spot foul. So
I'm not a big fan of math, so I would be too confident in what I said.
Heavens no. Well, the Giants had to get 11th man on the field as Pedro Garcia trots in, one of the seniors, is lined up as the lone back in. Well, actually, he dots the I now. Blackburn up the middle. Is hit and fights his way forward for 4 yards, where he stopped right at the 25-yard line. And just shy of the 25.
A little chippy on the end of that play. You can sense Marion's a little frustrated with how things are going, rightfully so.
Well, Blackburn was stopped and stacked up, and then he kind of got shoved backward high. And second and 7 for the Giants. Garcia, no, actually taking the handoff that time was Sanders. He's able to spin off a 1 tackle and picks up a couple yards. Well, it's a yard, and then another Giant down on the field. Trying to see if that's Marcus Smith maybe. Or how's it, Blackburn, the fullback?
I think it is Blackburn, 21.
Couldn't tell if it's 21 or 27. See Blackburn trying to.
Oh, his leg got rolled up on.
Yeah, he was trying to get the block there. We only have a timeout on the field for this injury. I want to remind you that our next game of the week will be the Madison Grant Argyles on the road at Oak Hill Friday, October the 7th. The Golden Eagles prepare to maybe wrap up a CIC championship and move on into sectional play. That'll be next Friday, 11 p.m. on WIWU-TV. Of course, online at WIWU-TV.com. That's the cool thing about these games being broadcast on WIWU-TV.com, that you have friends or family anywhere literally in the world, they can watch Grant County High School football here on WIWU-TV.
That is pretty amazing when you think about it.
I'll never forget, we were doing a women's basketball game at IWU probably 2 years ago, and saw a text that I think one of the Brooks's relatives, an aunt, I believe, they were watching the game from Pakistan.
Wow. There you go. You never know who's be watching your stuff, you know?
All right, well, Blackburn's going to get a little help.
Yeah, that looks pretty painful when, you know, somebody rolls up on your leg and kind of bends you backwards. Not a pretty sight, and I'm sure doesn't feel very good either. Hopefully he's all right.
Well, Alex Blackburn is only a sophomore. Another young player gets a lot of minutes here. That's the end of the third quarter. So we're going to take a break at the end of 3 periods of play. It's 49-7, the Vikings over the Giants. You're watching the Grant County High School Football Game of the Week on WIWU-TV.
Here on Crossroads, we tell the stories of people and places that make Grant County a community.
Remember to visit us at WIWU-TV.com, where you can connect with Crossroads 24/7.
Catch up on past stories and send us a few of your own.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for a behind-the-scenes look at upcoming episodes.
WIWU-TV.com. We are Grant County.
Back here for the fourth quarter of play from Dick Luton Stadium. It's the Giants and the Vikings of Huntington North. It's been a spectacular start for the Giants when Will Collins scampered 65 yards for the touchdown. But after that, Kyle Johnson, it's been all Huntington North this evening.
And, yeah, I mean, you can't overstate the word all in that sentence.
And their defense has just been dominant. Well, that snap was fumbled.
Still going on the field.
I think the Giants were able to pick that up, though. It was all over the place. I mean, knocked around like a pinball. Let's see who. Well, the Vikings came away with it.
Well, bounced right off Trevino's gut, almost like it wasn't even ready for it. And Vikings again. That's only the second turnover, but it feels like it's maybe the 20th in this game based on how things are going. And just not helping anything out, that fumble right there.
Well, we even talked about that in the pregame about how turnovers have hurt the Giants so badly, and especially turnovers that have given the opposition the ball outstanding field position. On that first down play, pickup.
Ball carrier is number 24, Parker Thompson.
Let's see, about 6 yards on that play. That time by Parker Thompson.
Looks like Vikings might be putting in some subs right now, and you know, same kind of success the left-hand side of the field. Doesn't matter really who's in there.
Yeah.
And decent gain on first down.
Well, it said 6 yards. It really almost 7 yards on that carry. And in at quarterback for the Vikings now is number 4, Dakota Johnson. So the junior getting some playing time at the quarterback spot as well. So we see substitutions across the board here for Huntington North. And on that carry, really no gain at all on that play, so it'll be a 3rd down and 4. Starting to get some final scores, and we mentioned Eastbrook with the big win, 55-8 over Franklin. Oak Hills all over Mississinawa tonight. That game's not yet final. Well, inside handoff, reverse will pick up about 6 yards, and it'll be good for another first down, and that time it was from Ebert on the carry.
Yeah, you see just a little reverse here, and really mixing up their run plays, which is difficult for the defense to stop, you know, Marion. And inside the 10-yard line on that run, gets the first down. So another 3rd down in which Marion had a chance to stop it, but were unable to do so. 10 minutes left now. You just, as Marion, you kind of want this game to be over as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and I want to credit the Vikings. They've really kind of changed things up well. You know, they've run it inside, they've run outside, they've done some misdirection. They've thrown in a few passes there. Oh, the quarterback that time with the keeper, and Dakota Johnson gets it down inside the 5, almost into the end zone. He stopped just short at the 1-yard line. That's something we really didn't see from Lucas Long, the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, you're just talking about mixing it up. I mean, just no matter where they're running, the holes are wide open, and you know, Johnson that time is a substitute quarterback able to get a good gain. So that tells you about how this game has gone for Marion's defense.
Well, 2nd down, goal to go. Now the ball on the 1. Handoff, and that time the running back is met in the backfield, and he's going to lose maybe a half a yard.
Handoff.
Well, you know, that's the kind of stops that Marion was hoping to get all night, but just can't, you know, haven't been able to. But a good defensive stop there at the goal line. And, you know, if they can get another one of those, might, you know, make this a field goal.
Well, 3rd down and goal. Ball's marked at the 2-yard line. And for a game that's featured a lot of running, especially Vikings, it seems like it's kind of drug on. We're getting other finals in already. There's still 9 minutes to play in this one. Well,
This time, Parker Thompson gets the handoff and goes into the end zone for the touchdown. And so Parker Thompson scores for the Vikings, makes it 55-7.
Yeah, I mean, the clock stops quite a bit when you score this much, so,
yeah,
you know, does seem like it's drung on quite a bit, but the Vikings are just destroying us right now, so.
Extra point for McCutcheon. High kick, right down the middle, and that makes it 56-7 here with 8 minutes and 41 seconds to go.
Yeah, here's the replay. Just, you know, another 2-yard run. Nothing fancy about it. A little counter, saw the hole open. And same old for the Vikings. You know, 56-7. That's about as bad as it gets.
Yeah, difficult way to end the regular season home schedule here for the Vikings. Excuse me, for the Giants. We'll check in one more time with Katrina Blackman down on the field.
Thanks, Roger. Right now, the players, but mostly the coaches, are expressing their frustration. With some of the defensive players, they're just standing around watching the game happen. Back to you, Roger.
Well, Kyle, that's a little bit what we talked about earlier. You know, in order to obviously play defense effectively, you've got to, you know, be in good position. You've got to tackle well, but you can't tackle high. And if you, you know, kind of get your daubers down and your head down, and you just start standing around, you're not going to be able to tackle well. But Collins takes the kickoff. Gets it out across the 25, out to the 30, into the 30, well, let's say about the 32-yard line before he's run out of bounds.
A good return here, and, you know, first time in a while we haven't seen a holding or block in the back penalty on the Giants on this return where Collins brings it out wide. But, yeah, definitely for the defense of the Giants, you know, you don't want to see that type of effort. You know, it's difficult being down this much to still kind of have that desire to do things and work your hardest. But, you know, just, you know, for the future games and next year, you want to see guys give an effort out there.
I formation here for the Giants. Hand off to the first man through. Is that Ian Reynolds? No, who was that in fullback?
I think it was Ian Reynolds, yeah.
Oh, it was Ian Reynolds. He's had some nice plays on the defense side. Of course, earlier we saw, I think, Alex Blackburn, fullback, go down.
It looks like he is still on the sidelines. He's up on that leg standing now, but he was having troubles with it after that roll up on his left leg.
Final over in Gas City. Oak Hill 42, Mississinewa 7. See Oak Hill next week. There's Collins working the left side on that second down play. He's able to pick up 4 yards. They'll make it third down. And about 3 yards to go for the first. And we have a Huntington North player down.
It looks like Sanders actually got this one. And,
oh, it was Sanders.
Strong side, able to get a little bit of space out there. And unfortunately, those runs have been few and far between for the Giants. Looks like Corbin Clark is the one down. You can see at the end of the play, he was grabbing his leg. I'm not sure exactly what happened. His left leg or ankle appears to be bothering him.
7 minutes and 41 seconds to go here. In regulation, we have a timeout on the field for the injury.
Let's see what happens here.
You can see him get hit right there at the end.
Oh, you can see his left ankle just kind of got rolled after he fell down. Wasn't expecting that hit. And then all of his weight kind of rolled up on his left ankle. That looked really bad.
We'll mention some other finals from throughout Grant County today. We've talked about the Eastbrook, big time over Frankton tonight, 55-8. Oak Hill, where they had that big win last week against Eastbrook, an even bigger win tonight, 42-7 over Mississinewa. Boy, the Golden Eagles really on a roll. And Madison Grant, we don't have a final in that game yet, but they were all over Blackford. Actually, we do have a final. Madison Grant 57, Blackford 20. And
you really hope that Corbin Clark's all right. He's a senior.
I'm going to take one more look at this.
He's a senior on this team, and, you know, you hate to see in this game. Watch his left ankle. When he gets that weight, kind of, oh, my goodness. Like, all of his weight goes on his ankle as it turned under him. And that looks pretty bad on that replay. You just hope it's not too serious because he's a senior. He's had a good game tonight, and just a shame.
Well, Wildcat Week is back on WIWU-TV, and we'll get you update on everything happening at Indiana Wesleyan University sports, including men and women's soccer action. And this Thursday, we have the return of IWU volleyball as it leads in the Crossroads League, looking for a Crossroads League championship. It's Wildcat Week, weeknights at 7:30 and 10:30 on WIWU-TV, and of course, WIWU-TV.com. Well, yeah, this is not good.
He is still, down. I mean, getting the shoe off of him now. Didn't look like a good, didn't look like a light injury. I'll just put it that way. You can see him holding his face. Looks like he's in pain still. Just hope it's not too bad.
Safe driving should be rewarded. That's Allstate stand.
We talked about Wildcat Week just a moment ago, and what the women's volleyball program, we talked about feature on them. What an outstanding season they've had. 1 point, I think they ran off about 13 straight.
And I mean, I think a lot of people after the past couple of years and their success kind of thought potentially it'd be a transition year for them. You know, a couple of key players losing in the graduation the past couple of years, but they've really, you know, played well all season long. Like you said, 13 straight wins for them is just a big streak, and they're leading the conference right now.
Well, we're going to be here for a while because see the medical staff coming out with some equipment for an air cast, it looks like, and so that is not a good sign for this young man from Huntington North, because obviously a pretty serious injury when they're going to have to use some sort of a cast while he's still on the field.
There's been a lot of injuries tonight.
(55-7) here with 7:41 to go here in regulation. I tell you what, to me though, Kyle, that's one of the biggest differences. I don't consider myself that old, but been out of high school. Gosh, how long have I been out? 25 plus years. The level of sophistication and professionalism in terms of athletic training, not only just like, you know, for injuries on the field, but in terms of injury prevention and the things they do, you know, prior to the game, and just how they help to prevent injuries in the first place. But then when there are injuries, I mean, it's just a whole nother level from what it was, you know, even, 15, 25 years ago.
Definitely. And, you know, I think, you know, seeing kids getting bigger and stronger, you know, on average too, so that, you know, kind of contributes to the whole thing of injuries and prevention of them and treatment as well.
They're going to bring a cart onto the field here to take the young man off. But, yeah, you hate to see that, especially, you know, this late in a ball game. But, no, obviously we're not going to speculate, but it's got to be a very serious injury if you know, cash on the field and take out in the cart. But, again, you know, abundance of caution and abundance of care given to athletes these days. And
we hope he's all right. There have been quite a few injuries tonight, though, mostly on the Marion side.
Yeah.
But, you know, they got his pads off even. And we hope Corbin Clark's all right.
Oop. mention some other scores throughout the county tonight. Tell you what are we going to see next week when Madison Grant, who put up 57 tonight on Blackford in a 57-20 shellacking at Blackford, that final, and Oak Hill put 42 up on Mississinawa. Man, that should be a whale of a ball game next week. I can't wait.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Are you going to be there, Kyle?
I will not, actually.
What?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I'll be there.
Well, I'll
We'll
just
be
have
thinking
to watch
about
the
you.
stream, you know?
Actually,
I'll just have to watch it.
Fall break next week, isn't it?
That's the reason, yep. Both teams kind of going out there to give their support.
Yeah.
That's nice to see. But yeah, next week should see, you know, maybe a lot of points. Talk about a shootout.
Well, how much fun have we had, though? It just seems unbelievable that next week is, I believe, our final broadcast of high school football for the season on WIWU. And what a blast, though. I mean, how much fun has it been to be able to bring high school football to the folks of Grant County? And obviously, having never done this before, a little bit of a learning curve, but man, what a lot of fun. But, you know, we got to also mention, though, you catch a couple hours of football here. It takes a full day to get everything set up. You see the crew coming out here and running cable and cameras and mics and monitors and the whole deal. I mean, they're out here all day getting things set up, and a lot of work and a lot of effort. We really appreciate Nate Johnson and Paul Crisp and Garrett and Stephanie and all the students who put the work in, Randall King. I mean, it's just a huge effort, and we get to have the fun part, just come up here and call the game.
We get to watch it and talk about it.
They do all the work, and that's the kind of job to have.
You just got to love the atmosphere of high school football, though, and you know, it's just so unique, and Friday Night Lights, and there's a lot of fun to be able to cover.
Well, after that very long injury timeout, Giants are back at it here. And we're ready to get this one back underway. Trevino with the handoff to the first man through. I think that was Will Collins, who he lined up as kind of the up back that time.
Picked up the first down there, and you know, that's got to be difficult, kind of having a little break. Yeah. Body gets a little bit cold, trying to get back out there and just play right away. But Collins picks up the first down on this one. You're right, he was the up back and bounced it out a little bit, able to pick up the first down.
Well, Collins was able to pick up about 100 yards in this game with that carry. Of course, 65 of them came on that one carry alone. But other than that, it's been a lot of tough sledding. Trevino caught in the backfield. Going to fight just to get back to the 45-yard line.
Well, that just shows you the effort that Trevino had to put forth to get back to the line of scrimmage. And, you know, Huntington North able to swarm to the football even after two play action, you know, option fake handoffs.
Second down and 10 for the Giants. Clock continues to run, 6.5 to go. Trevino drops it, and the Vikings are going to pick it up, it looks like. That's the third turnover for the Giants tonight. And,
there's a fumble on the field.
You know, really, Colin, I don't think any of them were really caused by the defense in terms of a hard hit or an interception. They just been drop snaps or loose balls that really were the fault of the offense, not necessarily a great play by the defense.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just again, and Trevino
that time it looked like he just pulled away from the center too quickly.
Yeah, and like the first fumble of the game, Trevino tried to pick up. Looked like he did the same thing there. Kind of tried to pick it up instead of just falling on it. And Huntington North will have a short field yet again.
Now, how many drives of Huntington North have they had where they've started it in Giants territory? The handoff that time goes to Parker Thompson. You know what? Parker Thompson, who has just played the last couple series, the 5'8", 150-pound sophomore, just made a really smart play here where instead of going to the sideline, he turns it upfield right here and keeps it in bounds and keeps that clock running.
Also a pretty nifty spin move there if you're going for style points as well. So,
but with the 56-7 lead, the Vikings are just, they want to keep the ball on the ground and inbounds and keep the clock running.
I think both teams at this point really want that.
Yes, you're true. Whoa. A pile up at the 30-yard line. There's going to be a Vikings first down, though, on that carry.
And you wonder if Huntington North, you know, are they going to try to run out 5 minutes? Or are they just going to keep running until they get to the end zone, score another touchdown? We'll see.
And Kyle, we knew that Huntington was a good running team, but they're in the neighborhood of 400 yards rushing in this game. That time, that handoff, nowhere to go as it's stretched out. And Aramis Ebert on the carry was taken down after no gain.
That's just, you know, speaks to not only their rushing attack, but also, you know, the maybe the little down year of the Marion defense, and just whatever they've tried to do on defense has not worked against the run. So that's got to be frustrating for them as a unit.
Second down, just shy of the 30-yard line.
Second down and 10. Ball right at the 30-yard line. Dakota Johnson's going to keep it. He turns upfield and gains about 1.5 yards.
Quarterback Dakota Johnson keeps the ball, moves it up a couple of yards.
Second down and 8 now. Clock approaching the 4-minute mark.
Another high snap there. Huntington North hasn't had nearly as many as Marion has of those, but decent recovery, gets about 1 yard, so not too bad of a play.
Three wideouts to the left side now. And the lone wide receiver on the right side is wide open at the 10, at the 5, and he's into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Wide open. Seth Thompson with the score.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Huntington North was trying to run out the score or if that was just a nice pass play, but Marion was not expecting it, and just an easy conversion.
Well, I was expecting Huntington North to just run out the clock, but that time, well, you know, Kyle, something we haven't talked about, but this is the final season in the North Central Conference for Huntington North. They'll be moving on. The life of me, I can't remember the name of the conference now, but so I don't know if the Vikings and the Giants will be playing maybe in non-conference matchups anytime in the future, but I want to say they're running it up, but if you had to face this team next year, you might have just kept it on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, 63-7 now.
Who knows what they're, you know, what they're actually trying to do, but it seems a little unnecessary to throw the ball at this point, but I mean, I guess if things are working, you might as well.
The Giants will have one more crack at it.
Last year, the Marion High School
it's still shocking in a sense how good this game started.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at now technically 63 unanswered points for Huntington North, and as we said earlier, you know, Marion, that first play from scrimmage, Will Collins took it to the house and looked like Marion's, that's the start they needed. But then the ensuing kickoff, just Huntington North takes it all the way back, and it's 7-7 just like that. And Marion has not really recovered since then.
You know, instead of teeing it up and kicking it off, we might just say, hey, let's put it at the 35. Let's go.
Yeah. By the Vikings. takes the ball out of bounds.
Oh, you wonder if this is going to be the last drive of the game, if Marion's going to try to run this clock out and just get out of here.
You know what's interesting is we look at scores tonight. Every score we've seen has been a blowout tonight.
Yeah. Well, certainly hope next week's not. But you're right. It's just been one team in every aspect of the game pretty much all around Grant County tonight. Just, you know, imposing their will.
Yeah, Eastbrook was over Frankton 55-8. Mass Grant 57-20 over Blackford. Oak Hill 42-7 over Mississinawa didn't score until just a few minutes left in the game. Collins, right side. Tries to bounce it outside. He's tripped up. And he'll pick up a couple yards.
Bringing it up to the second down at the
Well, ever since that the first play where they've tried to, you know, bounce it outside, since then just haven't had much success, and not a lot of big plays for Marion, and you know that's difficult to do against his defense, but at the same time haven't been able to move the ball very well.
Well, nothing going that time on that second down handoff. Under 3 minutes to go now.
Good push there by Josiah Doctor on the defense for Huntington North, able to get in the tackle and stop momentum and force them backwards.
Well, the line of scrimmage on both sides have been just really controlled by the Vikings tonight. Trevino under pressure, rolls to his right, now throws on the run, and is nearly intercepted, then nearly caught, and flutters out of bounds. Oh, and there's a penalty on the play, and it's going to be a personal foul, roughing the passer. I started watching the flight of the football, but apparently after the throw, Trevino got hit.
Well, there is heat right away, as we've seen all night. I didn't get a good look at that, but looks like maybe somebody just kind of ran into him trying to deflect that pass.
Well, that'd be 15 yards for the Giants, and I'll put them in Huntington Vikings territory. They'll have first and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Let's look at the penalty hit right here.
Oh, yeah. So you could see the defender took 2 steps before he hit Trevino. Trevino's not a big guy, but he's a tough kid. He takes a lot of hits and gets right back up. Reynolds. First man through. Tell you what, that was a weird-looking play. Trevino looked like he was trying to take the football back because he had a huge hole.
Just kind of both had their hands on the football for
Yeah.
about 3 yards of that play. That was a little weird looking, but
good push though.
Yeah.
That time, instead of a 5-yard gain, it was a gain of 8. Reynolds just plows his way. Oh man, almost dropping it was Trevino. He tries to get it off. He was looking for his intended receiver down there that time. Number 36, of course, is Spencer Reynolds. Clock stops with 1.5 minutes now.
Another snap where Trevino had a tough time holding on to it. We've seen that too many times tonight.
I don't know how many times Trevino has been sacked tonight. I know it was 4 in the first half, but he's been hit a couple dozen times. Reynolds, inside handoff. He plows his way up for the first down as he gets it inside the 35 down near the 42-yard line.
That'll move the chains, and again, you see a good push, and Trevino even getting on the action. You talk about him being a tough kid. He's not afraid to get some contact in there. A little shove at the end there, too.
Clock runs now with a minute 13 to go. Trevino with a little time, throws across the middle. He's looking for Spencer Reynolds, who hadn't quite come out of his break yet, but had maybe a half a step on the defender.
Yeah, he was open if Trevino could have hit him in stride. Just a little underthrown that time.
2nd down and 10.
Really one of the few times that we've seen Trevino able to step into a throw.
Yeah. And what's kind of weird, it's like you kind of feel like, well, he had time. He really didn't have that much time in that throw, but it was more than what he's had prior to that. Inside handoff that time, nowhere to go. In fact, it's going to be a loss of about a yard. That time for Reynolds. Under a minute to go, and the clock continues to tick. And be 3rd down now for the Giants.
I mean, you look at the white shirts behind the line of scrimmage. 5 of them at least, and that's just been the norm all night for the defense of the Vikings.
Trevino, straight drop. Pump fakes, now runs. Throws towards the end zone, is an intended receiver down there was Xavier Fuller, who had a step on his man. Couldn't make the grab, but the flag comes out. Looks like there's going to be a pass interference. He was being maybe tugged from behind here.
Trevino again having to scramble. And he chucks this one pretty far.
Yeah, he does.
Overthrows the receiver, and you see a little grab there on the jersey at the end by 34, and that'll be a penalty.
Now here's the thing, obviously. In high school football, this is going to be a 15-yard penalty. And in college football, it's 15. I like the professional rule where you have that pass interference at the 2-yard. That's where the ball's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, because really the defense has the advantage in that situation. And they're rewarded, in a sense, for the pass interference. Well, after the pickup of 15 yards on a penalty, Trevino's going to eat it way back at the 34-yard line, and that's going to do it for this football game, or at least it should do it. Clock continues to run, and that'll be the final in this ball game as we watch Trevino go down on that replay. But indeed, that is the final play of the game, 63-7. It was all Huntington North, the Vikings, tonight with a big victory on senior night here at Dick Luton Stadium as they put it to the Marion Giants. And tough night for the Giants tonight here, Kyle Johnson, especially, kind of sound like a broken record, but especially after that just really exciting start and first possession for the Giants where Will Collins just bursted for 65 yards, and you're like, that's exactly what they need. Get out in front, stay out in front, but just as quickly as that happened, the Vikings were able to return the kickoff for a touchdown, and they controlled every bit of the game from that point on.
Yeah, you just, the more you watch this game go on, the more you kind of realize, Katrina said early on in the game that was kind of a new play that they hadn't really run, and then, after that, Huntington really, really tightened up their defense and offensively just ran down Marion's throat all game long.
And the other story of this game, the Giants turned it over 3 times, but they put it on the turf at least 3 more than that, and hurt themselves with field position, killed some drives. And so on the offensive side of football, the pressure that Huntington North put on the Marion Giants was just, too much for them to overcome. But really defensively, saw the Giants really struggling, trying to figure out a way to stop Huntington North, and just poor tackling.
Yeah, and just when it looked like, a couple times Marion, the defense was going to step up, either had some, unlucky plays or, made simple mistakes, and that was just kind of the theme of the game. And, Huntington was just, very, very good all game long.
And then on the other side of the ball, you have Marion helping them out, you know, a lot of times as well, which just that adds up to a score of 63-7, and you know, you kind of see what happens in this game.
Well, you see Coach Ryan Vermillion addressing his team here, and there's only one thing you can do as a coach, I guess, is you always try to remain positive and look forward, and you know, try to find positives to build upon, especially on a younger team, and you know, encourage them, and you know, you still got one game left to play here, and after that you've got a sectional game you can play, and the one thing is, I think, you know, look at a Huntington North or Muncie Central or some of these teams in the North Central Conference that are 5A schools as opposed to Marion, 4A school. I mean, you never know what can happen in a sectional game, and depending on the draw, and see if you can't maybe, you know, pull off an upset in the sectional.
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, and they can't, you know, hang their heads too much after this loss, but, you know, you just got to feel for some of the guys, the seniors especially tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It being their last home game and the last time they're wearing the purple and gold, and you know, it's just not a way you want to go out.
Well, we know the Giants came into this game, Kyle, with a lot of injuries. They're very thin up, and we talked about it right at the outset about injuries, especially on the offensive line, and they were thin up front. They got nicked up a little bit more tonight, but I think you credit the Huntington North defensive front. I mean, they put a lot of guys in the box, and they put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and in the running game. But they played well, but they were also playing against an offensive line that was extremely beat up as well. So,
yeah, I mean, you know, it seems like everything that could go wrong did go wrong for the Giants, and you know, a lot of guys getting nicked up, you know, in this game specifically, as well as coming into the game with quite a few injuries on top of that, just not helping any of their cause. And, you know, like we said, the defense would get ahead and potentially have a chance for a stop, and then just unable to do so. And after the first two drives on offense, the Giants really couldn't do anything either. So, you know, just started off hot, and then, you know, it was all Vikings after that. And, you know, at the end of the game, they really, you know, that pass play just kind of, I don't know if it was rubbing in the Giants' faces or not, but, you know, call it what you will. They're up 63-7, and, you know, that's just kind of how the game went.
Talk about, we got a minute here. We mentioned it before, but we'll recap in case you didn't catch these scores elsewhere in Grant County tonight. Eastbrook with the big win against Frankton, 55-8, and you know, what's funny about Eastbrook is, you know, it's not going to be a championship year for them, but even when, you know, even when they're average, they're really good. You know what I mean? The outstanding effort tonight against Frankton with the big win. Madison Grant with the nice win against Blackford, 57-20. Madison Grant rolling along now, and sets up the big showdown next week against Oak Hill. Oak Hill, gosh, it's got to be the surprise score. Not that the Oak Hill won the game. Obviously, they've had an outstanding season. But the manner in which they beat Mississippi while the Indians tonight, 42-7. And that was a 42-0 ball game where Mississippi scored very late in that game to get on the board with about 2 to 3 minutes to go left in the football game. But we got to come up with a name for tonight, you know, Blowout Friday or something like that, or you know, because every score tonight, I don't know, something in the air, something in the water. Well, we're going to go down to the field where Katrina Blackman has Coach Vermillion.
Thanks, Roger. I'm standing here with Coach Vermillion. What would you say was the key factor in tonight's loss?
I think Huntington North played very well tonight. We had some key injuries down the stretch. We really started to get into some younger kids playing that just are usually playing JV and that kind of thing. But you know, Huntington North played well, and they played better than we did tonight.
I overheard you talking to your players after the game. Would you say that they're more mentally or physically tired right now?
I would say physically we're beat up as a team, and that's over the last couple of weeks it's taken a toll on us, and we've lost a few kids. And during the week we've got kids that are only practicing part of the time because they're not completely healthy, and that doesn't do us well when we get into a game because practice helps you become a better team. And if you got kids that are injured that need that time to rest, then it's tough to do. We're not very deep to begin with, and so we just have got to get healed up.
Yeah. What's next for the Giants getting prepared for tournament play?
All right, well, we've got Lafayette Harrison next week over there, and it's a long trip. So, anytime you get into a long trip during the regular season, it helps you during the tournament because you're already prepared for it. And Harrison's a good football team, and they'll be a good test for us going into the tournament to see where we're at and see where we're at physically and mentally.
All right. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you. Back to you, Roger.
All right. Well, thank you, Katrina. Thank you to Coach Vermillion for joining us, and you can see the frustration on his face, and that's kind of what we talked about. A young team that's beat up, probably a little bit physically and mentally and emotionally as well. But like you said, I mean, you got a game next week, and you got to get ready for that game, and you got to, it's hard to communicate to the kids sometimes, but the fact that what should be motivating enough is like you get a chance to play.
Right.
I mean, you actually have the opportunity to play. You get the chance to get out there and play the game, and that's a pretty awesome opportunity you have. But it's kind of hard for young kids to realize, the chance you have because, like for these seniors tonight, that opportunity is going to be gone after this, and that opportunity for the last play here at home is gone. So. Take advantage of those opportunities.
Right, and it is fun to be an athlete and to play the sport you love, but it's much more fun when you're winning.
Yes.
And speaking from an athlete's perspective, when Coach said they're hurting more physically, I say that both is true, physically and mentally.
Hey, we're going to take it down to Katrina Blackman. She has Noah Graham on the field.
Where are you?
All right, I'm here with number 70, Noah Graham. He's a senior for the Marion Giants. Real quick, could you tell me your role for the team this year?
I'm a defensive end, a defensive tackle on defense, and then I play offensive guard as well, and I'm on the PAT blocking team.
Okay. What do you think that you guys need to do differently to get ready for tournament play?
I think definitely getting healthy. As you saw, a lot of our guys went down, and we can't have that. That's just we have to stay healthy. And so tomorrow we actually have the day off, and so we're going to get off our feet. I think that the amount of time that we put into football outside of just practice and outside of games has to increase as well. We have to be lifting, we have to be running, we have to stay in shape and be prepared for tournament play. And just building a team. I mean, everyone has to play for the man next to them. They don't need to play for their last name. They need to play for the Giants.
And as a senior, you're going to make sure you get them mentally prepared. This game is in the past.
Yeah, definitely.
What does senior night mean to you?
I've been looking forward to this game since I was 5 years old. I remember coming out and watching Shane Nevers ride out on the convertible, and I remember senior night, and I was looking forward to it every single day and every single year. Now it's finally here. It was a great experience. I was glad, most important, that I was able to share with my mom and dad. They supported me all 12 years of playing football and all throughout school, and I really owe everything to them.
All right. Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Roger.
Thank you very much, Katrina Blackman. And obviously we see the guys on the field, the football team, but senior night, it's important to some other people as well. You have the marching band members out there, and marching band was a program that Josh Huff now is in charge of trying to bring that program back to maybe some prominence and do well with it. The cheer team, those folks that work extremely hard there, managers, I mean, people behind the scenes, things like that. There's a lot of people who go involved, and you want to kind of recognize them on senior night as well. Yeah. And so not just the football players, but others as well.
But, as Noah said, it's nice that, his parents were there, and that's part of the fun of senior night, and being able to play in front of your parents is a special thing.
Down to the field again to Katrina Blackman.
All right, thanks, Roger. I'm here with number 59, Wyatt Brown. Wyatt, what does senior night mean to you?
It means a lot. It's a big game. Look forward to it from your freshman year up. Just a lot of emotion put into this game, and we prepare really hard in the week for it.
And as a senior, what is your role for your team?
I'm the team captain, so like it's a big role. I take a big role. I gotta always have my head up and fight through it.
Yeah. What can you tell your teammates and underclassmen about tonight's game and what they need to do differently?
Don't let it happen like this. We knew going into this game it was either going to be the worst feeling or the best feeling that you could have, and it just turned out not good for our end tonight.
Yep. Well, you put this game behind you. How do you prepare for sectionals?
It's the next play, so we just, no matter how good or bad the last play was, it's the next play. So we just practice hard and plan on making a run in sectionals.
All right. Sorry about your loss tonight. Thank you. Back to you, Roger.
All right. Thank you, Katrina Blackman. We're going to take a break here and be back after this timeout, though, to put a wrap on this one. It's the Grant County High School football game of the week on WIWU-TV.
Nothing says fall like a roast in the crock pot. But what's even better is taking one-pot meal and taking the leftovers and making a second one-pot meal. This week on Good Hoosier Cookin', I'll do just that. I'm going to make a roast and then take the leftovers from the roast and make beef stew. Join us this week on Good Hoosier Cookin'.
On Good Hoosier Cookin', every week on your community station, WIWU-TV.
Welcome back to Dick Luton Stadium here. Kyle Johnson joins me, Roger Alcock, and Katrina Blackman down on the field. Well, we got a minute here. We just want to run through this one more time, Kyle, and kind of name off the seniors for the Giants making their last appearance here at Dick Luton Stadium. Will Collins, the senior, of course. Eliza Callahan, Trey Rowe, and Cedric Johnson. Mark Cohn and Pedro Garcia. We saw Pedro get in there and got a carry late in that ball game. Troy McGee. Javon Yakel, Spencer Reynolds, the fine tight end for the Giants. Wyatt Brown, who we just met just a moment ago. Wyatt, the senior linebacker and captain of this team. Noah Graham, we talked with him as well. Tyree Smith, Terrell Gamble, and Joshawn Pettiford, the seniors for the Giants. And, of course, so, a lot of young guys on the field as well. Well, let's take a look at some of the stats. You see the final score, 63-7. The Giants with almost 100 yards passing. Of course, they had to try to make some things happen, Kyle, with the pass when they got behind. But that's not what they want to do. They want to try to run the football.
Yeah, I mean, towards the middle of the game, though, I'm kind of surprised Marion didn't try to throw it more. Of course, a lot of times they'd be getting into the 2nd and 12 or 2nd and 11 yardage situations off the first play. So it's difficult to do that, but and then you just see the rushing yards by Huntington North and just dominant, with 319 and over 400 yards total. And that's just tough to do when you've got, defense that's already lacking some players.
12 first downs for the Giants, but again, they struggled to keep consecutive drives alive. The turnovers hurt them. Trying to get field position, get into Huntington North territory, just not enough first down, not enough maintaining drives there. 24 first downs for the Vikings. Those 3 fumbles, of course, really hurt the Giants in different situations. And 7 sacks for the Vikings on Trevino. If he was sacked 7 times, how many times was he pressured and hit?
Probably at least twice that. And they talk about the pressure not only for sacks, getting 7 of them, but also just the rush that Huntington North had on defense for running plays as well. A lot of loss of yardage, on running plays for the Giants. And, it's tough to get anything going when you're down looking at 2nd and long, 3rd and long consecutively, just to put a drive together. And we saw a couple drives early on by the Marion Giants that had some yardage to them, but then just unable to convert 4th down.
Well, we're going to take one more break here on WIWU and put a wrap on this one. So don't go away. We'll be right back here on TV 51.
This week on Wildcat Week, we talked to IWU men's tennis coach Keith Ruberg about the fall season. IWU women's soccer coach Tim Schrader will update us on the season so far and about his first year coaching the Wildcats. We get highlights from many of the IWU sports, and I'll sit down with 2 of the top men's and women's tennis players. That's all on the new episode of Wildcat Week.
Jordan with the finish. Seems like he's been...
All right, back here one more time as Dick Luton Stadium is is emptied out here. We're left Kyle, the WIWU crew, and then Jim Brunner over there talking to the coaches. But other than that, there's maybe a ground crews guy or two left down on the field. But take a look at some of the highlights here from the second half. And you're going to see a lot of Huntington North highlights there. And Woods, of course, who had the big night. Yeah. With his 3rd touchdown.
And he had huge yardage on relatively few carries, but Huntington North spreading the ball around on the ground really, really well. Lots of guys touching the ball, lots of guys getting pretty decent yardage. And here you see just some of the mistakes from Marion, miscommunication on the kickoff return and then penalty and then, Will Collins going backwards. Just that, a lot of things going wrong. For Marion tonight, as well as the play of Huntington being very, very solid.
And that was a interesting play. Let's call it that. Up 56 to 7,
and with under 5 minutes to go, choosing to pass it. It is what it is, I guess, but definitely didn't need that extra touchdown.
Well. Yeah, I don't think Giants were going to come back at that point. But
that would be the comeback of all comebacks if that happened.
Excuse me there. Well, it sets up for us here on WIWU our last broadcast of high school football coming up next week. And, boy, it should be a great one. Should be a great football game as Madison Grant, the Argyles, and Oak Hill tie it up next week. And I tell you what, the Oak Hill looking for a CIC championship. And,
Oak Hill playing some great football. I mean, you talk about Mississinawa tonight, them just blowing out 42-7.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Mississinawa, we had their game against Eastbrook, and they looked unstoppable. So it should be a very good game next week. Hopefully a lot of points up on the board on both sides, unlike tonight. But very exciting football game.
Eastbrook with the big win tonight. Madison Grant with the big win. Oak Hill with the big win, and the big win here for Huntington. I mean, it was a
lot of blowouts tonight.
It's very shocking at this time of the season.
Yeah. Well, Eastbrook fans are probably a little frustrated with the season and how that's gone based on their history. But like you said earlier, I mean, Eastbrook's having a good season, and it's just too bad. But other teams, like we said, Oak Hill and Madison Grant, really stepping up this year and playing some good football. So you can't really blame the Panthers for the season they've had. But
the Giants have one more shot next week as they head over to Lafayette, and they got the game there. And again, there's some skill on that field. They just have to get some positive momentum going their way and see if they can't get some good momentum going as they head into sectional play.
Mentally just try to bounce back as best you can and put this one behind you and hopefully recover in this next week physically.
Well, certainly we want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And Kyle, it's good working with you tonight. Katrina Blackman down on the field for us as well. And, of course, everyone down in the truck, our producer Randall King as well. So we
Julie Scardina, Animal Ambassador for SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. Are you a teacher that's looking for exciting, real-world learning for your students? Well, boy, do we have some tips for you.
Ready?
Get their hands dirty. Get them wet. And make it an adventure. Look like a fun way to learn? Well, it is. For more information about